What's up? What's up? What's up?
What's going on?
Good. Looks like we are
Watching those
live.
people arrive up in here.
Do not move with the money. That's that coconut rum.
We gonna share the video.
Somebody's mic or whatever.
Gonna test my mic. I'm trying to work this mic. See what
Hold on, internet land. We just giving time for everybody to hop on in here. Come on in, family. Come on in.
It's a great topic, man. I like the title that you chose, man. I like that.
Hey,
Are women really?
on
Yeah, are women really virtuous or creatures of chaos? Heavy. I like it.
Like a Chevy. Heavy like a box Chevy.
All right, they rolling in. Come on in, family. Come on in. We waiting on some more people to get in. There you go. Y'all coming on in. Come on in. Don't be scared. Come on in. Come to the dark side of the force.
I figured that all the tied in all the stuff we was talking about in the chat. I figure it'll tie in. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
All right, in that land, we back at it once again.
Elijah was good, young blood.
The man with the master plan. About to give us that good value, that good alchemy up in here.
Always.
Smooth operator.
That formula right there.
Formula, right? It's that DLC, right?
Yeah.
Big Pete, gorilla on the scene. You know what it is. Him and Vaun about to get ignorant up in this motherfucker.
Nah, man, we gonna keep the G, man. We gonna keep the G.
we got dirty on the scene, dirty folks, tolerologists, straight out of
Okay.
Dirty folks. Dirty folks. Dirty folks. No soap. No soap.
And last
I see
but
you
not least, we got the fly bow tie guy, straight out the Midwest, straight out of Nat. You know what it is. And we got another one for y'all. Let's see, we got some comments rolling in already.
Yeah, there was your wife saying coconut rum. So the coconut rum, is it just because usually I'm used to like Malibu rum where it's still clear. So does it come like already coconut cream, or do you add coconut cream to it? So
yeah, we're gonna let her answer that.
Gotta let her handle that. Yeah, you know.
That coconut rum is smooth, man.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite rums. So
what's up, Elijah? Good to get back, brother.
Yo, I'm testing out a new mic, man. It ain't buzzing, is it?
They give it not buzzing, but it has air.
Oh man, so
like a lot of hissing and feedback. Yeah, hissing and feedback.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yep, already ready.
All right. We're gonna do what it do.
You good, dirty?
Hey, I ain't sure, man. I'm playing with the
Nah,
audio.
you good right there. You good.
Now your audio is good now. Yeah.
All right, cool.
You see my wife said, Pete?
Yeah, I add more rum for my hubby so I can take that. You know, that's what you're talking about, and that's why. What kid got up to? Is it 13 or something? 13.
All right, let's get this rolling. Tonight's show is: are women really virtuous, or are they creatures of chaos? We want to play y'all this little video before we get into it. Let me pull it up real quick. Right. All right, we about to play this video, y'all. We gonna get it in the show, so we can get ignorant up in here.
See what Elijah said? He said you about to go to Law and Order.
Hold on, he said, Wesley just like you about to be on.
Baby.
Hey,
There you go.
We got a first time in the building. We got a virgin in the building, man. Dan and Grisby.
In more ways than one. What up, Dan? All right.
All right, let's play this clip, y'all.
What's up, Dan?
You women sit on social media, you sit around, oh, everybody killing everybody, but you never tell the truth that there's been 1,000 shootings and homicides trickle back down to you running your fucking mouth or you calling somebody and exaggerating because you feel disrespected. Stop calling people. You get in an argument with somebody on the block, that's it, leave it there. You call your brother, now these niggas going through it the whole summer, and then somebody's child die about it. That's your fault.
Hey, greetings, Dan.
Top P.
First timer. Welcome to the show. All right, we just played that little clip. What's going on with that, Vaun? What's your take on that?
This is Pete's title, man. Let Pete rock out, man. Let him introduce
All
the
right,
topic
Pete.
and let him rock.
Whatever's clear.
Right. But then how about I'll start? You got a beatbox. I'm gonna kick the freestyle. You know now.
They no more, fam. I'm in here.
So
Don't let you rock, son.
let me rock.
Pete from Brooklyn. We gonna let you rock, son. You know what I'm saying?
Man, what she said is so true. You know, so true. I've seen that shit so many times, man. And I'll give you a personal experience, somebody I know that it happened to. So my boy, he's a cool dude. You know, he was a friend of my sister, but me and him met, and you know, and we knew the same people because he was younger than me. You know, probably about 10 years younger, and he grew up on my block, but I already had moved out. So we found all that out. So we knew a lot of the same people. And we would, you know, be on Facebook cracking jokes at each other and stuff like that. So cool cat. But so he had a homegirl. Homegirl got into apparently some argument with some dude, and dude smacked her. Right? Nobody knows the details of the argument, whatever. So instead of just letting it be, or better yet, calling the police, who she really should have called if she really felt assaulted, she called my boy and was like, yo, so-and-so dude just smacked me. So I'm assuming she, of course, going to exaggerate, make it seem like she ain't had nothing to do with it. He just did it out of nowhere. But I know for men, a lot of times we talk about men being violent towards women. You have to understand what it takes for a man to get violent for a woman. There are steps and precautions that men take. Like, they don't just go off. It's when a shorty crosses the line, because they do so habitually, that to the point where he has to go to that. A dude will be like, look, shut up, bitch. Shut your fucking mouth. Yo, get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? And what makes him want to hit is because she in his face and trying to play him, and so he slapped the shit. But she ain't gonna tell how toxic she was to antagonize the situation. And you know that she's not, because if she really was threatened and he was really like a stranger, she would not call to get him dealt with later. She would call the police. If a woman is just walking down a block and a man hit her, the first thing she's gonna do is pick up 911. She's not gonna call her brother, her boy. She's not gonna, because the time for him to pull up, you know what I'm saying, it's not gonna be the time to guarantee her safety right now. First thing she call 911. But because she knows she did some bullshit, she don't want to get the cops involved. Because chances are she probably put her hands on dude too. So he slapped the shit out of her in response, right? Calls my boy, Now my boy, he a high head. He going through shit. He just want to fuck somebody up. Blase blah. He go over there, see dude. Dude slugged him. Hit him with the slugs. Now my boy is dead, and dude is doing time over some shit that Shorty just said just happened. A second incident. Well, I might. Oh, you want me to leave that one for you? The one in the Duncan.
Man, now
How was that
y'all
one?
could be great, man, because I'm gonna keep mine short. So y'all could
All
be
right.
great.
So another incident that recently happened in New York, probably about 2 weeks ago, happened at Dunkin' Donuts. It was a young brother. He was actually from Jamaica. He just moved to the country, and he was going to get his mother some and his auntie, I think, some coffee. The morning routine. Go pick up my little frappe, latte, whatever that is. And even though I drink Dunkin', my tall order of iced coffee and shit. Shorty jumped the line apparently, skipped him, and just started. And I think he might have said, "Hey," and she just started arguing with him. Blah 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 blah. He ain't argue back. He ain't do nothing. He just let her be great in her toxicity. She paid for a joint. She apparently paid with a credit card, and then left. Dude is on route, minding his business, taking his shit back. She went and got some other cat, rolled up on dude, and dude killed him. He didn't hit her. He didn't say nothing. There's videotapes of the incident in Duncan. That's how they identified her, plus her credit card. Went and told dude, and who knows what she told dude. She could have said, "Yo, he tried to rape me." And dude just seen him and was like, "Yo, I'm trying to be a hero and kill this dude." And killed him. Dude is 3 months in this country. Like, you gotta like imagine a family, all of that. Like, yo, we sent you United States to prosper and be great, and you get killed over some shit you ain't even involved in. You just some broad brought it to you. Like, you gotta really think how she disturbed that man's life. Like, it's not. There's one thing. If somebody get killed and they're in a violent situation that they put themselves in, hustling, gang shit, whatever, they know it come with the territory, and it's understandable. But when somebody's just inflicted and had nothing to do, they didn't create the problem or nothing, and abroad just come out of nowhere. Like, this is his morning routine for his arm. Like, he's never thought that his day will go like this.
I,
He just
I
thought,
wanna
I'm gonna pick this up and then go, and boom, out of nowhere, this broad just burst in and affected his whole life out of
I,
nowhere.
I wanna address what Dan said in the comments, yo. Well, first of all, you got the story wrong. What happened was she was at the counter. He went to get his stuff because they called his number, and she got
Okay,
mad because he didn't have a mask on some COVID restriction shit. But all
right.
the rest happened. But the boyfriend was in the car in the parking lot, and she went and told her boyfriend, and they followed him and killed him. But here's I want to address what Dan said. He said fathers determine a woman's level of virtuous behavior. Absent or weak fathers create chaotic daughters. Okay, I want to say that's categorically wrong. Like both parts, bro. And I'm pro man as it gets, but fathers don't determine a woman's level of virtuous behavior because women don't have virtue. Virtue is a man trait, just like chivalry. You know what I'm saying? Why they assign everything to women, I have no fucking idea. Probably because we're not at war. But the virtue of a father doesn't transfer to the daughter. Because I know a lot of dudes that was cool dads and their daughters still wore mini skirts, put them in a book bag, and come to school looking half naked, then change back before they went home. So I can't put that on dads, even though boomers down, they kind of weak. But I can't really put that on dads because these toddlers gonna toddle. Um, After the weak fathers create chaotic daughters. Yeah, I'm gonna let you have that one though. I'm gonna let you be
He's
great on that one.
he's from Ghana too.
I'm gonna let you be great on that last part. But I can't say look, we're at a point ever since OJ stabbed Nicole. You can't even beat your chick, right? There's no restrictions on what a toddler can do. The whole world is her daycare. So I can't put that weight on dads. Because dad's not in control.
Dan say he from the USA.
But I feel where you're coming from, though, bro. I'm with you. As far as the topic goes, I mean, it goes with it is what it is. 70% of dudes in jail are locked up over a girl. The reports say that men are violent. Most of y'all niggas is droopy. Y'all let a motherfucker slap you like Chris Rock on stage over a bitch. I mean, that the whole thing is the whole thing. Like, it's a lot of dudes that won't fight for themselves that'll fight over a girl. It's a lot of dudes that'll look the other way and use conflict resolution and all type of stuff for his own life. But then get a phone call from a cousin or something. Oh yeah, this boy do it. And they just hop out the window. If I send a little shorty off to shoot a nigga just cuz, like, yo, shorty, get that nigga, y'all will call him a send off. But y'all get sent off over these toddlers every goddamn day. Every day. So the chivalry and the virtue of men allows toddlers to have the chaos. Because toddlers have neither virtue or are they chivalrous. You know what I'm saying? Train your toddlers, man. That's all it's about that.
Hey Dan, on your profile says you live in from Ghana, but you moved there. Y'all continue, so I just got a question for you.
Man, first of all, I don't think that people can make you do anything. You know what I mean? We all have a choice to make in how we're going to respond to whatever situation that we're presented with. So if a woman, comes to get you, my wife could come and get me and say, some dude did this or said whatever. And I still have to decide how I'm going to respond to that. I don't just automatically go into, beast mode just because she was offended or just because, her feelings were hurt. There's levels to it. And so if you have a broad range of men responding in ways that are detrimental to themselves, again, that's still his response. Now, that doesn't mean that she didn't still, pour gasoline on a heated situation, but you determine as a man whether it's flame on or flame off. And so, as you rest in peace to your friend, man. But as you said, he was a hothead and he was looking to get into some shit. So, the female came his way, and all she did was, light a spark, and then he flew off the handle. Like I say, God bless the dead, but at the same time, he decided to respond that way. She didn't make him do anything, and I hold that true across the board. Nobody can make you do anything. I will say this when it comes to who.
I got a response when you're done, Vaun. So just let you know.
Okay, cool. And then as far as virtue, man, I don't believe that anybody is virtuous. I don't believe that men or women are naturally virtuous. I think men and women are naturally selfish. People are naturally selfish. Not men, not just women. People. I mean, and you can look at a child, a real toddler, and you can see in the behavior. It doesn't matter whether they're male or female. They are generally and genuinely all about self. That has to be trained out of people. What happens is when you have a culture that lacks boundaries, that lacks structure, that lacks proper guidance and ushering people into a healthy expression of adulthood, what you have is the manifestation of full-grown adult children, basically, men and women. I mean, you got guys fighting in the club over somebody stepping on their shoe or making them spill a drink. You got a nation full of, most murderers are men. Now you say, of course, that is because of women. But again, I respond to that by saying nobody can make you do anything. So, and it doesn't matter the gender. I mean, the race. Again, man, you got killers. Look, there's a story. I'll finish with this right here. It's just to show you how similar people are to animals, just instinctually and even on a primal level. There's a story of it's called Of Elephants and Men, and the story is about the elephants in South Africa's Kruger National Park, and the rangers there had discovered that, or they had determined that if they had an overcrowding or an overpopulation of elephants that they wanted to deal with, and so they developed this strategy. They would get these slings. They built these slings, and they were going to airlift these elephants out of Kruger National Park and relocate them to another park that was, not too far away. The problem was the adult bull elephants, the bull male elephants, were too heavy for the slings. So all they could airlift out were the females, the adolescent and younger males and females. So they relocated several of them. No, and all of the adult bull males stayed where they stayed in the original location. Within a very short time, they noticed that there was a lot of violence inflicted on the other animals, rhinoceroses, and just wildlife. So what we had was, some of the rhinos were coming up, being stomped, trampled to death, gored to death, and many of the other animals were being a lot of violence on them, a lot of death on them. And so they couldn't figure out, that the rangers couldn't figure out where all of this extra violence was coming from. So what they set up cameras so that they could observe, overnight and throughout, to see where this stuff was coming from. And what they observed was that the young adolescent male elephants were causing all of this ruckus. They were attacking the females, adult and young females, and they were running down rhinoceroses and goring them and trampling them to death. They had formed gangs. These young adolescent males, they had formed gangs, and they were just terrorizing the entire forestry. So they were trying to figure out what they were going to do. They these scientists, they were kind of at a loss because they couldn't figure out. So they didn't know if they should start killing some of these young males or what. And then one of the scientists said, well, you know what, let's see if we could if we could re-strategize on relocating some of these adult bull males and bring them to the new location. And let's kind of see if that helps stabilize things. And when they did, they brought over a few, they figured they readjusted the slings, brought some adult males to the location. And once they got the adult males to the new location, the violence and the killing and the gangs and stuff stopped almost overnight. Just the presence of the adult bull males stabilized the high levels of testosterone, because that's what they call it, musk, I think, or must. When these young males are brewing with testosterone, it's uncontrollable. They urinate all down their legs, and they're always looking for a challenge, right? So when these adult males came, it stabilized the environment instantly. Now that sounds a lot like what's happening in many communities around America, where when there's a lack of healthy masculine presence, the younger males, they form gangs, they do all kinds of stuff, and they go wild. And in many instances, they terrorize the neighborhoods. So I'm just saying, there is no virtue in males naturally, organically. There is no virtue in females naturally and organically, unless there is a training process, a cultural process that rears people healthily towards adulthood. Then what you have is adults who are not behaving healthily. Period.
Hey,
go ahead. Yep.
Hold on one second. Let's say what's up to Salam, Akachi. Appreciate you coming out, brother.
Yes, sir.
What's up, Aaron? What it do, fam? Appreciate you coming out. All right, y'all want to respond to that?
You got Mr. Sunkiss. What's up, Mr. Sunkiss?
Right. Appreciate you having you coming back out, sister.
And we got Liz Taylor in here, Oaks Boo, Oaks Boo.
Like a dreamsicle in the building.
Liz, what you want to say to Oak right now? Hey, baby. So I want to address what Vaun said. One point, it was the beginning part about the issue about like the virtuosity and who makes you and all of that. I get that. As a being, you have to do what's best for you, right? And going at somebody for no good reason is not in your best interest. So I can't disagree that you are in control of, or should be in control of yourself, right? Yeah, should be, right? Should be in control, right? Then that's a bet. But, well, I won't even say but because I don't want to make that a genuine statement. The reason why the thing of virtue is there's this overlining or underlining thought that women are sugar spice everything nice, meaning from toddlerhood that they're already virtuous women. And if you see a woman getting her ass whipped the first thing they're gonna say is to that man, "Why are you hitting on her? She a woman," as if she has some type of privilege. Now, if he's whipping another man's ass, they'll never say, yo, that's a man, don't hit him. Or if a woman is beating on a man, they'll never tell her, that's a man, you shouldn't hit a man. You know what I mean? There's only a woman. And that's the only one that always has to be saved and rescued. Because there's this fake, what is it, the halo effect? I sent something else about it, where it's assumed that all women are good or they're either a damsel in distress. But I do want to say that they are creatures of chaos. And this is why that points that out there, because you have to have discernment. Is that right for certain things? Because once you bring two male bulls, there's going to be a fight. She brought my homeboy intentionally to fight dude for her honor, right? She intentionally called him. Shorty at the Dunkin' Donuts intentionally called her boyfriend to fight for a false honor, to kill for a false honor. That right there, like the argument at the Dunkin' Donuts, they had a dispute, nothing major. Should have left and leave it as that. Should even told her, man, don't worry about it, whatever. Said her diss is like, nah, baby, it ain't worth you going to jail for. Pipe it down, don't worry about it, just let him be. You know what I mean? But no, she agitated the situation. She pushed it. And they ended up arresting her too because of it. And with dude that killed my friend, you know what I'm saying? She agitated the conflict with dude. And instead of saying, damn, I got slapped because I was out of place, the first thing she's going to say is, I'm unprotected, because Black women are the most unprotected species, right? But then she went ahead and got somebody who she felt was going to protect her, or more so fight for her honor, and put another man in detriment instead of just calling the police. Easily, hey, 911, this guy slapped me, can you come? She was looking for chaos. She was looking for conflict. She wanted that man to get his ass beat by another man. And she brought another man into the situation. And that's why I said there's creatures of chaos. See, we as men have discernment, right? We know, don't bring certain people. You know what I'm saying? We know a situation happened. You don't bring your friend that's off the chain, because you already know he on go, whatever it is. So you be like, nah, this is a situation I gotta be calm about, because he just going there with guns blazing or fist blazing or whatever. So we have that discernment when we make a decision on what it is. And this is why men have conflict resolution, because men know, like, at any moment, this is death. And death also can mean imprisonment for the other man. So men could say, nah, this argument ain't worth it. Whatever. I ain't gonna go to the 10th on this or the nth on this. So that's why I say creatures of chaos, because you have to be a chaotic individual to put a man's life, to just not give a fuck about it. Like, she totally don't give a fuck about it. It's like she knew he was a hothead and that he would fight. So she called him out of the heat about, like, you just got slapped. And that's the first thing you think about is calling him, not 911, not anybody in your arena. You know what I'm saying? And then shorty go and tell her boyfriend over some shit because the guy didn't wear a mask. So you're going to get street resolution for that? Yo, that's creatures of chaos. And that just tells you where their mindset at. I'm going to get my big brother over because she felt dishonored or disrespected. Now, you got a man that's dead and they got a man that's going to do life behind jail. And she's not going to receive any penalty. The girl that called ain't received no penalty. And the shorty that she made because they arrested her, but she's going to snitch on her boyfriend. We know that. And he going to pay the penalty. She going to get out in a year for some small thing. He's going to do 25 to life. She going to say, I love you, baby. And she going to go home and fuck the third motherfucker. No, the third, fourth, and fifth, because there's going to be 3 other men that she going to fuck while he in jail. Mind you, the other guy is whatever, and she's just going about life. And she's probably going to get other men killed. So that's what I have on that sector of what you said.
Before
I don't know.
we interject, or we comment, for everybody that's coming in, after the show started, I'm gonna replay this clip from where everybody's building off of, so y'all can see.
Wait. Before you play it, drop the commercial, the small one.
All right, bet. What's going on, internet land? I want to send a reminder to Cash App Tribe Power and donate some love to these gentlemen that's giving their time and their passion. Enjoy the show.
You women sit on social media, you sit around, everybody killing everybody, but you never tell the truth that it's been 1,000 shootings and homicides trickle back down to you running your fucking mouth or you calling somebody and exaggerating because you feel disrespected. Stop calling people. You get in an argument with somebody on the block, that's it, leave it there. You call your brother, now these niggas going through it the whole summer, and then somebody's child die about it. That's your fault.
I do think that, I'm sorry, were you done, Pete?
Yeah. I didn't know if your Oak wanted to.
Yeah, I do think that I agree with her that when it comes to petty arguments and even in the scenarios that you presented, some things that especially if you think he's a hothead and he's gonna jump it off.
Repeat that. You froze for a second. Repeat that.
I'm saying that I agree with her to the extent that the women in those scenarios definitely contribute to the chaos. But again, without the men doing what they do, there could be no chaos, right? The women like my wife can come in here and fuss all day long about what the next door neighbor said to her, but I still have to act on that. So again, you can blame who you want to blame, but unless she's the one out there throwing the punch, that falls on dude, right? And she knew he was a hothead. So him being a hothead, look, men of discernment exercise discernment, period. You can't be a man of discernment while not exercising discernment. You see? So we're trying to cast all these ideas onto men as if men are organically somehow arriving at a healthier expression of adulthood without these cultural trainings, without these cultural guidelines. We have men who are just as chaotic as women. There was a couple comments I saw. I think it was Miss Sunkiss. She said something about men are stronger than women biologically. That's why that exists. I think she was talking about that protective instinct that kicks in when women, are facing an inordinate amount of violence, right? So, and I agree with that. Somebody's got their mic on.
You ain't seeing these girls fight nowadays.
Hold on, bro, let me finish. Yeah, we do. I do understand that there. Again, you got a lot of chaos in these areas where people's culture is weak, and so you'll find men and women doing some things that we just shouldn't be doing. It's a mess, right? So this point where she was mentioning men being or women being weaker, and this is why men come to the defense of these women. There's a lot of validity to that. I don't come to the rescue of strange women. If I don't know you and you know, the best I might do for you is call 911, but I'm not jumping in nobody's domestic situation. That's just me. And then Ty Perkins made a comment. He said women have brought down entire empire. And then I know Oak often references Troy and as an example of that. And again, I say the woman might be an agent in the situation, but again, she is not the one that gives the go-ahead for war to jump off. Men do that, right? The woman cannot go to war without men. Troy does not go to war without the king saying it's time to go to war. So he could have charged her to the game. He could have been like, you know what? She's worthless. She's not worth me, going to war with another country and thousands of bodies being slain, because she behaved, like she lacks virtue. So again, that fault, every decision that a person makes falls on that person. I can't blame anybody, even if somebody come over here right now and smack the hell out of my wife. It's still my decision as to how I'm going to respond to that.
but you're gonna respond to that. So with that being
Yeah, I'm
said,
gonna respond, but again,
oh,
it's
okay,
still,
they're
it's still
saying
mine
shit,
on me,
whatever come
right?
with that, come with that. So
Yeah,
here's my thing. Here's my thing, and I'm gonna go back to the elephant scenario you had.
yeah.
Um, First of all, people do have virtue, and toddlers give away shit all the time. And some toddlers are selfish. That's a personalized thing. Everything is not men and women do shit, but men need to step up or men need to make decisions. Because you're calling them toddlers, which I always do, which is saying they're not worthy of protection unless they do everything you tell them to do, which you'll say that they can think on their own. They can't think if I gotta protect them, because 90% of protection is prevention. But with that being said, the reason that those young bull elephants were attacking people is because that was a very good analogy. Let me tell you something.
Thank you.
Mammals, probably all animals, are hardwired to protect their pussy, right? You'll never had this opportunity, Vaun, because you got married at 8 years old. But if you date a single mother,
He took house too far.
if you date a single mother and they have a boy, the boy will attack you the whole day. 3 years old, like you ain't gonna stomp him under your shoe. This is a natural human trait. It's happened with every boy I've seen. I know one boy, he would not go to bed for shit. I told Shorty, I said, well, look, I'm about to go to the bathroom. I need you to open and close the front door and say bye. This nigga, it's 1 in the morning. This nigga just up. 7 years old, just up, stalking me. I'm like, I'm gonna head in the bathroom, open and close the front door and say bye. Soon as you open and close the front door, the boy went immediately to bed because his whole job was to protect his pussy. The the nature of the the father or the father figures, when you start talking about they brought back the elder bulls, you know who doesn't care about the pussy? Boys that have fathers. They be like, oh, that's dad pussy. I tell my dad all the time, like, you better get your baby mama. He be like, that's your mother. I'm like, nigga, you fucked her. Like, this is, that's the natural affair of where things go.
That part right there.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, that's not bad parenting. The toddler's gonna toddle, man. You know what I'm saying? But the nature of boys is if there's a bigger man there, I feel secure, right? That's anybody. That was a movie, The Bodyguard, when I was a shorty, and he just paid some big bully to protect him. If there's a bigger guy there, a smaller guy feels safe. That Spike and that little dog, they used to jump around him on.
Yeah.
If there's a bigger male there, the younger males feel safe. If the bigger male is not there, the younger males will always show aggression because they got to prove they ain't no punk, right? High crime areas, no fathers there. Boys got to prove they ain't no punk. Dudes, chill. Old head, man, what up, old school? I hate old school, though. What up, big homie? Whatever. You slide right through like, man, he one of the guys. So that's a natural thing. I agree with that. But it's also natural to protect your pussy. So when girls say XYZ is happening, the first thing they do, if they feel like you're not going to hit them back, the first thing they do is hit you. You see it all the time. Nigga, girl walk past, you look at her ass, girl smack you in the back of the head. The fuck, bitch? You know what I'm saying? She have a bad dream, she wake you up. Motherfucker, you a cheater. Bitch, I'm sleeping next to you.
Yo, hey, I done have my ex kick me in the chest.
Girls is nuts. Girls is absolutely out their motherfucking mind. I've been in those situations on quite a few occasions. On quite a few occasions. I had a cousin. My
When they wake up, dream cheating and slap you.
Say what? Nigga stupid.
They wake up, dream you cheated and slap you in the head.
Yeah, you wake up like, bitch, what? Like, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I've been in situations where motherfuckers try to pull guns on me over chicks. You know what I'm saying? I've been put in situations because I would never protect a girl. I don't give a shit who she is. I ain't protecting my mama. Nigga, I'm not protecting no pussy because I don't know what these motherfuckers did. If my protection is, it ain't even that serious, dog. Chill. I ain't fighting over no bitch. But there's been situations where guys have pulled guns on me for a girl. My cousin had me in the car. I'm thinking I'm helping her shop or something. She's like, hurry up, take a ride with me. I hop in the car. We end up at her boyfriend crib. By the time I'm looking up, I'm like, damn, his picture window and his car window's busted. What happened over here? He hopping out with the pistol, like, motherfucker, you brought your cousin for me? I'm like, whoa, dog, I don't fight over girls. We good. You know what I'm saying? I had situations where niggas call me like, man, my cousin said you did a dirty nigga, where you at? And fuck you up. Nigga, I come to you. I'm more ready. But before I come, let me explain to you that your cousin mad because the bitch didn't have $20 and I gave her daughter $20 for her birthday. Now she mad. Talking about, I don't need no nigga to do shit for mine, nigga. You gotta understand, these bitches will put a nigga in a trick bag like motherfucking Houdini. These whores is horrible. They're the only virtuous girl is the girl that sleep next to you, and that's only why you looking at her. If she turn that goddamn corner, man,
Virtue wrong.
Buddha bless you.
I want to address Mrs. Sunkiss, right? Because this is common, right? So in 1 minute you'll be like, oh, feminine principle. That is an aspect of creation. Creation is nothing but chaos. And so,
hey, Ty, I would hold on. Let me address that. Ty, nigga, I would get some pom poms, my nigga. I would grab a sun kiss, crack it open. I'll pop some popcorn. You know what I'm saying? Light up a square. I would be there for the action because that's his woman. If my father decided to train his toddler, I'm a byproduct of fucking. You know what I'm saying? My parents was fucking. That means they knew each other at least 9 months longer than they knew me. So that's his. By the time I'm strong enough to overtake my dad, what we talking? Another 12, 13, 15 years in life, and you still don't have that grown man strength. So man, we're in decades of this shit. If he check, you don't want your dad to abuse your mother. Nobody wants to see anybody get abused. I don't want to see quadriplegic get abused. But if he checking my mama, nigga, she needed to be checked. That's his pussy, nigga. That's his problem. Forsake thine children and thine parents for thine spouse to check that bitch. I don't give a fuck about that, because if I'm checking my toilet, better nobody say nothing, because I'm killing you, then I'm killing her. The only reason I'm killing you first is because you're the bigger threat. But as soon as she not gonna escape, she not gonna be sucking a nigga dick while I'm going to arraignment and you going to the funeral home. She gonna get it too. It's gonna be a double motherfucking homicide, nigga. She is not gonna escape this penalty because it's her fucking fault. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel about it. Pops, check the goddamn man. Take her allowance. Whatever the fuck my daddy do to my mama dick, I don't give a shit. That's his woman.
Oh my
goodness. I wanted to address Mr. Sunkiss real quick. So, here's his men lead by bringing organization to chaos. So you need discernment. See how all these things are, right? Men have to do this, men have to do that. And there's no responsibility on the woman to adhere. Like, the only way for a man to bring control to a situation that someone doesn't adhere to is by force. But if a man forces a woman, you call him weak because he can't check his bra. But force is part of his way of checking. Like, you're acting like women are just, they're the worst toddlers, because they are toddlers, right? But at least a baby would listen to a grown man voice, right? Because the mama would say, stop, stop, stop 1,000 times, baby won't stop. Dad come, hey, leave that alone. And the baby is stopped. So the baby's been checked and will leave it alone. Well, when you're trying to have that discernment with that woman, have that, trying to check that woman, and you're like, hey, leave that alone, and she's still doing it, the last thing you resort to force. When people talk about domestic violence and men killing women, you have to understand how far a man had to go to get to that point. It don't never just start off the rip. It is continuous disrespect, just all of that. So finally, he just break and just be like, yo, let me beat this bitch. Because the only way this is going to make sense to her is if I put hands on her. And that's it. And then this whole thing about discernment, I agree men should have a level of discernment, but discernment isn't just, you're assuming that there are virtuous women. Vaun just said there's none. So you're saying that he has to have to have discernment.
That's not what I said.
You said no one is virtuous.
Okay.
All right. So that means there's no man and woman, no one is virtuous. It's based on training. right? Which we're saying train your toddlers, because training is a continuous thing. You just can't stop training them, right? Even in both, I'm gonna say this: you and Crazy both got wives. Their parents trained your wives before you got them, and then you trained your wives according to what you like. Their mothers and their fathers trained them to be a certain kind of woman, but you had to train them to your likes and dislikes. You know what I'm saying? So if you didn't like coconut rum, your wife would not give you coconut rum. And that's training her like, nah, babe, I don't drink that. Then you'll never see another bottle in the house again. You know what I'm saying? Same thing like your meal that you eat, Vaun. If it's not something, if it was a plate of ribs, you're gonna be like, yo, I don't eat pork. And that'd be the last set of ribs you see put in your face.
And if you saw ribs again, you know they're doing it strictly out of disrespect.
Out of disrespect. So this whole thing, I was just saying, this whole ideal of it's always the men that have that, and I'm not saying I agree, right? Men's fault, men's fix, right? But this whole thing of and you're really acknowledging that women are chaos. You're just trying to make chaos look good by saying, oh, it's part of creation. Creation is not chaos, right? Men build and create things, and it's not necessarily chaotic. It's structure. It's structure in pieces together. You don't never see a building, which is a creation, built out of chaos. You know what I'm saying? It's never chaos. Chaos is uncontrolled. Even if they destroy the building, it is a demolition. It is a controlled demolition. Because chaos would just, bricks would be all over the place. That's why they blow it up, for it to collapse a certain way. They dig the dirt, get rid of it a certain way. Lay down the, pipes and all of that, the sewage and all of that. Then they lay brick by brick by brick. So they're building, they're creating, but it's not chaotic. It's actually in order and in structure. So creation is actually structure. Chaos is why a child might come out with Down syndrome, because there's chaos in the way the DNA is being coded. That's the chaos. So creation is not chaos. You see it as, oh, all these things are flying, but it's not. It's controlled. It's just like the cells in your body. If you look at the cells in your body, you're like, what the fuck they doing? But it's a controlled thing, because every day your function, look, Vaun is eating. His eating, you know what I'm saying, is controlled. Now, if you look at the cells in the body as it's doing what it's doing, you're like, what the fuck is it doing? But it's controlled. Every mechanism in the cell, from his cheeks to his jawbone to all of that, is controlled. So this whole thing of it's all chaos is not. That's some pseudoscience shit. Women are just chaotic. And it got nothing to do with creation. And they really don't create, they just incubate. Men create. When you look at this, when you look at children, semen creates the baby. The egg has no value, does nothing but drops. Every what?
Halfway.
And if it doesn't, and if it's not fertilized, it goes to the lining. She has a period and it washes away. When the sperm comes, the sperm creates a spark. It is the life. Then it hits the egg, and then it changes its entire mechanism of the egg. It makes the egg create a shield so it blocks out other sperm. You know what I'm saying? And then it, it doubles, keep doubling the size till, I forgot what they call that term again.
You ain't got the answers, Kanye.
I got the answers, crazy. I got the answers.
I would say this, look. What you saying is, I agree with some of what you're saying. But one thing I give you some pushback on. Both the sperm cell and the egg cell are living cells. It's a living human cell. That's the only pushback I'm gonna give to you.
Right, but when you say, she even said it, right? it's looked like chaos until light is brought to it. Right. The sperm brings the spark. The egg, even though it's living, is dormant. Does nothing. It just the ovum, whatever releases the ovary, and then it just go down, and then it stays where it needs to stay in the fallopian tubes. It hangs out for a few days. If nothing hits it, then it says, okay, cool. Just moves to the lining or whatever, and then the period or whatever, and then it flushes out. And this is why, so what I'm saying is the creation of life is the man. The incubation of life, you could say, is the woman. She holds the baby for 9 months. She doesn't create it. The man created it. And I'm not saying that the cell is dead. No, because if it was a dead cell, the sperm couldn't activate it anyway. It has to have some life to it. That, maybe I missaid that. I appreciate the correction. But yeah. So no, it's not both. Todd said, "Oh, over there, put that Todd. What Todd just said. We gotta put that up there."
It's definitely both. Sperm can't do anything. Sperm can't do anything without the egg. Egg can't do anything without the sperm. Now I know that there is a need in a lot of people to exalt one over the other, but the reality is, without cooperation of the sperm,
I'm not trying to hear that shit. Sperm is more important because without sperm, no, but here's the thing. Because I don't care about that.
Thing, bro. I'm in the middle of my
No, I'm just saying, because even if you talk about external eggs, like chickens, until you fertilize it, you can still eat it. But if it's fertilized, you ain't gonna eat it. Not in America anyway.
Mm-hmm.
See, you got black women agreeing with you. That's how you know you're wrong. All right. So as
two at that.
Yeah, two or more black women
agreeing. Go the other way.
All right, so.
Well, then bust off in the sock and let me see a baby grow from that motherfucker there.
That's not the sperm only live for 3 days without incubation. You know what I'm saying? But the egg don't live at all without the semen, right? So
the egg is alive without the semen, bro. The egg is in there already. Living. It's a living organism.
Women have all the eggs they're gonna have the day they're born. Men can produce semen until they die. Okay. You can count a woman's eggs at the time that she's a toddler, and you'll know how many periods she'll have if she never has children for the rest of her life. You'll know when the menopause is coming and everything.
You still can't have a baby without her.
Why would I want to? I want to have a baby with her.
The thing is, the man, scientifically, the man is only delivering what missing.
Wait, the man is not delivering.
23 chromosomes matching up with 23 chromosomes.
Thank you, bro.
What is missing?
Man, look, I ain't even trying. Look, there's
the emotion out of it is real simple.
I mean,
but I think we switching the argument, right?
We're switching the argument, and dirt is dirt. But unless I put a seed in it, and whatever comes out that dirt is the seed that I planted in it. You never say it's the dirt's tree. You be like, yo, that acorn, that's an oak tree. But I digress.
My wife for making this bomb ass.
Actually, the seed is being what happens is pollination happens from bees and butterflies going from flower to flower.
That's all the mentors these single mamas need. I got you. That's all the mentors single mamas need to raise their kids and take all the credit. So here's the thing, man. To get back to the topic of the actual podcast.
Y'all tripping.
Nah, man, y'all because every time it's some bitch shit, like men and women, but as soon as women have no responsibility over their emotions. Y'all tell them all the time, she's just being emotional.
Men and women, male, female, is it symbiotic or no?
No.
Masculine and feminine energy, no?
No. Look at the black community. All these chicks masculine.
You're talking about distinction as your example.
No, it's not symbiotic because
you just said it can be. By your example, if everybody's anarchist, if nobody's virtuous, then everybody's the same. And then people have to learn their roles. So if you have to learn a role, then it can't be a natural thing. If you don't have to learn a role, then
all I do is try to scientifically kill both arguments. You got women out there saying our egg is this and it's more than a sperm. You got niggas saying my sperm more than
no, that's not what nobody said. What I said is
no. I'm saying that's what I do. I do.
What I'm saying is
I don't come in defending no woman or man. I'm gonna tell them both y'all motherfuckers wrong. Ain't no motherfucker sell more value than the other. One's missing.
Thank you, sir.
Missing. 23 chromosomes. We deliver that. We provide that. Without
Well,
us
what I'm
providing that,
saying
it's not
is,
gonna be no baby. It's not gonna be
but
no baby.
here's
I don't know. You
here's
put
the
hot,
argument.
they get knocked up by hot sauce apparently.
So here's my take on the reason why I said that's moving from the subject.
Y'all didn't even let me talk, man.
Every
Y'all
time,
cut me
oh
off.
no,
Made me go
here's
back to
my
my
thing.
food.
Anytime, look, what Ty said, you eating rooster feet.
No, this is mushroom risotto and green beans, man. This shit
All right,
good.
no, you see what Ty posts? Look what Ty posts.
Shout out to
It's
wifey for
Vaun
this
over there
shit.
eating rooster feet.
Yeah, man. I don't care
Shout out
about
to
pseudo
Ty.
philosophy. I care about
No,
actual
no,
science.
but even natural
They have to
science,
overtalk you
whatever.
because you're making too much sense, Black. They got to overtalk you.
Well, no, it's not even about that. You're switching.
I tried to talk 5 minutes ago, and both of y'all talk right over me like I wasn't saying shit.
You eating.
Nah,
So here's
it ain't
the situation.
You're scared. That's why.
Every time we try to hold a woman accountable for her duty, we go into some pseudoscience, some science shit. Here's what the reason why I went on it is what Miss Sunkist said. She started going into, well, women are this because of this, and men have to be this. And she went into the pseudoscience of femininity and masculinity, yet men should have discernment on the woman. Once again, moving accountability and responsibility for the woman. The woman should have discernment. And matter of fact, Crazy Wife said it. She was like, yo, as a wife, a woman who knows her husbands will react to another disrespecting us, which in turn disrespects our husband. She knows to make a rational decision that won't put her husband in a position to lose her life. She know Crazy gonna wild out. So she gonna make sure she don't put herself in a situation that Crazy don't wild out. And that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying that's a discernment that she has to have as a woman.
And him.
Oh, yeah, y'all ain't making babies. Hey, look, nah.
And him.
She has to have the discernment. My thing is,
her, right?
What do you mean
it chose her, right? Or did she choose you, Quasi? Did she choose you or did you choose her?
She chose him.
Yep.
They chose each other.
So they both had discernment.
There you go.
So it's funny how.
Wait, time out.
They both had discernment. It's funny how the egg and it's funny how the egg and the sperm is equal, but when we're dealing with a situation, it's always unequal, and the man's supposed to only be the one that plays the high role.
I don't know.
And the woman gets to play the low role.
In Quasi's situation, his girl chose him. He like Goldie. Don't be mad, your girl chose me. But normally, that's not how life works. Normally, men have to pursue. You know what I'm saying? Quasi got chose. Shout out to Quasi. Give yourself a round of applause. Quasi got chose. But first of all, though, this hilarious. That's how she look without makeup. That's crazy. She still my peoples though. Oh, yo, to get back on the topic. The topic is: are women responsible for some of the BS that happens in the hood?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
When I look at my life, even though I think it was a misplaced lesson, I remember being in second grade and somebody taking my taffy apples, and I beat them up and took my taffy apples back. And my dad was happened to be getting off work, and he was gonna surprise me and pick me up from school. And he gave me this long lecture about conflict resolution. I'm like 7 years old. He's teaching me about conflict resolution. That is a male trait. However, I can think of all the guys that's in my neighborhood that didn't have a dad. The first thing their mama's saying is, whip his ass, beat his ass. You know what I'm saying? It's either mama gonna fight for you or beat his ass. So either be a coward or a killer. Because all they raise is cowards, killers, and fags.
If it's a male trait, you wouldn't have to be taught. Come on, bro.
No, that's not true at all. That's like saying if I know how to fix on cars, ain't nobody got to teach me. When you're living this life, you're going to learn stuff as you go along.
Fixing cars is a skill, bro.
So it's conflict resolution. To know when to fight and when not to fight is a skill.
Exactly. So it has to be taught. One has to be trained. It's not a trait. That's a different thing. Whole different conversation. So if a boy can be taught conflict resolution, a girl can be taught conflict resolution.
Girls aren't taught conflict resolution.
Whether they are or not is a different conversation. I'm saying they can be. You made it seem like men are come out the womb with conflict resolution.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Actually, I said boys come out the womb violent. That's why I got to beat up sons of single mothers. But what I'm saying, then they have to be curtailed to conflict resolution. The thing is, we're not even talking about that. We're talking about send-offs. We're talking about, do women send other men off to their doom? Whether I beat your ass for me, that's all day. Whether I fight for somebody else, that's something different. Have I been programmed my entire life, because it's already based on nature. Based on nature, I'm already gonna fight for my pussy. So have cables been put on my back to be like, fight for whatever pussy you love, your cousin, your sister, your wife, whoever. You TTG, trained to go. That is the conversation. And what I'm saying about that conversation is, okay, I got a story. I have a friend of mine. We talk about childhood friends. We was cool since we was like 6 years old. And then we just fell out of contact as adults. He found me on Facebook, and like, I wasn't tripping on not talking to him either way. But he found me as an adult on Facebook, and he said, man, I was looking for you, Oak. I just want to apologize to you. And I say, for what? He said, man, all these years, because me, I used to beat that boy ass every other summer. Like every 2 years, we'll have an epic fight in the streets. Every 2 years. And he kept saying, he at 30 years old, he's like, man, Oak, I just want to apologize for all the shit when we were shorties. Man, I was all my mother. And I was like, I told you that in real time. Even though I didn't tell him that in real time, I told his sister. Because what the sister do is start shit and then go run and get her brother. And the mom was like, you better fight for your sister. But I'm like, nigga, your sister dumb. I kept telling you, nigga, don't fight for this goofy bitch. You're like, it's my sister. But now that you older and grown, you realize you was getting sent off. And now you want to apologize for it. And I accepted the apology, and we went out and grabbed tacos. Because I ain't had no beef with him. I never had beef with him. You know what I'm saying? His sister was sending him off. Now, if we hadn't been cool for as long as we had been cool, then it would have been a whole nother thing. Because his sister sent him off a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? He got his ass beat by quite a few different guys because of his sister. That's that valor, that virtue, that this my girl, my sister, my mama, whatever. I gotta protect her because they unprotected, which is a lie. Because all I see is niggas dying and getting beat up over girls. So they just say that shit. Men are the least protected. Because who the fuck fight for me? If I got to get somebody to fight for me, I got to go get other guys.
It's mostly single women saying they unprotected. Ain't no wives out here talking about they unprotected.
I say shit, 91% of these chicks single. So shit.
And 90% of protection is prevention. And that's why they are right that they're the most unprotected, because they do not listen to prevention methods. You know what I'm saying? You tell her, don't wear that tight skirt and go down the alley by yourself in the dark to the club. And what she went, don't tell me what to do. I go the way I want. Men shouldn't be raping bitches. And then she go down there, get beat and raped and robbed. And then talk about, oh, we're just the least protected. Yo, 90% of protection is prevention. This is why it seems like men tend to prevent shit. Men be like, you know, oh shit, I know them cats, they out there, they wilding. You know what I mean? Even if a man know he can handle his business and he could go to toe, he's just like, nah, that I don't feel like dealing with that today. And he'll prevent it by moving it. Huh?
Y'all ain't really sharing nothing but feelings, man. You know what I mean? And everybody got feelings. I mean, we could all feel about how we feel about something.
As if you're not sharing feelings.
What's the facts of the matter? I mean, y'all just sitting here griping.
Just stated the facts.
Nah, nobody griping, Vaun. When you saw Will Smith slap Chris Rock over a bitch, you came on the show in the next week's like, I do that shit for my wife. It ain't nothing happened to her. Somebody had him and cracked the joke.
I would not do that for my wife.
You did said you had a man. Don't make me pull up the post, man. That's the first thing you said. Like, man, that was I do the same for my wife.
No, that was when dude fought the girl. That's
not what I said. That's not what I said.
When a girl ran up, look, but he'll hit a girl. When
I would not fight. I would not fight over my wife. But I'm gonna tell you, if my wife is in danger, I'll fight. I'll kill for that shit. But that's a different conversation. If she's in danger, real time danger, versus fighting because she's undecided on who she want to be with. I'm not fighting over that shit. No, if my wife is undecided, I'm gonna help her make the decision. I'm out. See, that's how easy that is. I'm not fighting over my wife, but I will kill for my wife to protect me.
If you're in the vicinity, then she shouldn't be in danger. That's
right.
I'm just saying, I just made it plain for you. Now you can add all kind of sauce on it if you want.
Ain't no sauce to it, because that's what I'm going off what you said. You putting sauce on it. I'm going off what
I
you
said,
said. You like,
I
man,
will
if I was
fight
Will,
to
I'd snap
defend
too.
my wife. I will not fight over my wife. There's a different conversation. If my wife decides that she's attracted to somebody else, ain't no fight to be had. That's your girl, dude. Right.
That's not even that wasn't the conversation. The conversation that I said,
To defend my wife, though, yes, absolutely.
that's feelings. Her feelings hurt because somebody cracked a joke. Her life ain't in danger. She ain't on no Mortal. Jada
Come on,
went in
man,
no
don't
Mortal,
do
Mortal
like that.
Kombat. You know, like I do the same shit. You know,
No.
and all the single
Pull up
mamas
the
was
post.
like, that's a real man. They protecting
Pull up
people.
the post. Pull up the
You
post.
said it. I'm just
Pull up the
saying. I'm
post.
just telling you not to backtrack.
Pull up the post. Show me. Show me. Don't reminisce. Show me. Because I didn't say that shit. I know exactly what I said, but it wasn't that.
What did you say?
Pull up the post. I said it's all fun and games to somebody. Something to the effect that it's all fun and games to somebody hurt your wife, or to somebody hurt your wife. And if you hurt my woman, yes, I will definitely hurt you.
But he didn't hurt her.
Yeah. Huh?
But then he didn't hurt her.
I'm explaining to you what I mean when I say hurt. If my wife is in danger, it's a problem. If my wife, if somebody crack a joke, I'm not fighting over that shit, man. That's dumb. Come on, man.
Come
I'm not
on,
trying to
man.
kill nobody or even risk
Come
me
on.
because somebody said something that was offensive to my wife. I don't get down like that.
So, but why is all of this you're saying that's emotional? Like,
I'm saying the way y'all sitting here, I slap the bitch, I do this, I do that.
Wait, nobody said that slap a bit. Like, what are you talking about?
Man, y'all talking about checking and physically checking.
No,
and I'm just saying,
saying
all that ain't required, man. Like there is an art to relating to a woman, and clearly you have not mastered that because you sitting here talking about beating a woman into submission. I don't have to do that. I didn't have to smack my wife around to bring me this delicious ass mushroom risotto with green beans and juiciness. No, man, we have a dynamic.
You was with your wife since 8 years old, man.
Can I finish? And y'all keep interrupting me. All I want to do
is they ain't doing it outside anything, man.
I just want to finish. I'm saying it's dudes that's been married
house and y'all kept the game going. That's playing house and I kept it going.
I sat there while you walked for like 20 minutes. And I didn't interrupt you one time.
Yeah, bro.
Go ahead.
I'm
saying? Be courteous, bro. That's all. Be courteous. I'm saying it's cats that's been married longer than me and can't get no cooperation from their wife. So time is not necessarily a precursor or a catalyst to harmony, right? There is an art to relating. There is an alchemical process to relating. You clearly know nothing about that. That's why you say the silly shit that you say.
I don't wait. See that's the part that I get mad at. Because you just saying you're just saying that's how you feel about it. You're saying I know nothing about it, but your only reference point is one woman. You haven't been in relationships with other women. So you've only been in a relationship with your wife. You got pregnant at 14, 15, 16, before even 18. You know what I'm saying? And then you got to look at, who raised her? And it wasn't like you had discernment when you got one. You were 14. No way you didn't have discernment. You got lucky. You made a lucky choice, right? You made a lucky choice and act like it was an educated decision. You act like you vetted your wife.
I tell my story all the time.
Right, but you didn't do none of that. There's no way you could have done that if you got married at 18.
No, y'all making it about the wife.
Come on, bro.
No,
I'm still in the middle of my building. You still interrupt.
But I'm saying you're making it seem like
you're always saying, bro.
You didn't have to say my name. You didn't have to say my name.
I didn't say your name at all.
You did. What did you say?
I said
say my name. Say my name.
I didn't even say nothing about you, Vaun, about this. You're the first one to throw insult. Obviously, you know nothing about. Like, you didn't have to say that. No, you don't. All you had to say was, I believe in relating to women, and this is what it is. Even when I'm speaking about my thing, I don't say, Vaun, you over there trying to, kill over all these people for your wife. I don't say that. I just say my piece about women. And I don't agree with it. All you have to do is just say, there's a way that men, have resolution and relationships with women. And that's it. But then you want to bring me in. I wasn't saying your name.
I didn't say your name.
I'm like 50 Cent.
I didn't say your name.
Why you call my name out?
I didn't say your name.
Your first baby mama.
I did not say your name, but hit dog will holler. I didn't say your name, but hit dogs will holler. I never said your name. Roll the tape. I never said your name.
So you didn't say.
But I do understand.
Refer to me, but did you refer to me?
Why you always lying?
I never said your name. Roll tape.
But you said you though. Weren't you addressing me?
Are you the only one on the panel?
You said you.
Are you the only one on the panel?
You said you.
Are you the only one on the panel?
All right. So when you say you, who are you talking about then?
I'm talking how I talk.
But who?
So in other words, here, can I talk?
Okay, I'm asking you. Say,
come on, man. What are we talking about?
Is it gonna be crazy or Oak? So
if you would just put a sock in your mouth, I can respond. But every time I get ready to build, what you want to do?
Pause, homie. Pause, homie. Pause. No, not go my mouth.
If you would just be quiet for a minute and let somebody else rock. You got people in the chat saying, "Okay, Pete, pass the mic." Like, come on, bro.
That was wild.
Gotcha, bitch.
Now.
I'm just saying, bro. Let somebody else rock for a minute while
I don't mind. Just don't say you. Don't pull me in it. Just say
I didn't say you, man.
So then, who was you? Who were you talking about?
Somebody else can sit here and say, "Why you?"
Oh my God! Who the hell cares?
Look, all I'm saying is,
that was
same way you sit here and you call women bitches and hoes and all this other stuff. Somebody could say to you, "You don't have to talk like that." But they let you be great. So I'm saying you can't police how I talk. I speak how I speak. Now, you wait your turn until I'm done, and then you say what you got to say. That's how courteous conversation takes place, which you, Pete, clearly know nothing about. Now I said your name.
Okay.
So back to my original point, where I'm speaking more generally, right? I'm saying there is an art to what my lovely wife say. I would not put my husband in a position where he'd have to make that decision. That's what I'm saying. That's the art of relating right there, man. I'm trying to show you, brothers, man. There's a science to this thing, man. It's an art to this thing. You don't have to force a woman to do anything. There is look, this is why my whole title is around the conditions of love. There are conditions. There are parameters. I set the stage on this side. She sets the stage on that side. We decide whether or not we can agree to those terms. Harmony is born out of that, right? But you sitting here talking women and choking women, and you got to check in front of the kids. Come on, man, that's chaos. That alone, that right there is chaos. A man knows if you're going to really check your woman, you really shouldn't be doing it in front of the kids unless she's really volatile, in which that comes back to you because you shouldn't have chose a volatile woman anyway. Again, discernment, man. Comes down to discernment. At this stage of the game, 40 plus, you should know better. You talk like, I don't know, like you're still trying to figure it out. But the two guys on this panel who have 20 plus years in the game, creating harmony with women, we don't talk like y'all, man. And there's a reason we don't talk like y'all. It ain't because we soft on crime and all this other silly shit that y'all might be thinking. It's that we have learned how to establish a certain level of harmony with a woman that does not require her showing up with bruises, does not require us calling her out of her name and abusing her and mistreating her. You don't have to do that shit, man. You just don't. But you be great. Let me finish this delicious ass risotto. And I'm mute.
All right, so let me address this. Let me address this. Check this out. Because personally, I really didn't have a problem.
Hey, Aya said she liked to be beaten to submission.
As she should. You know what I'm saying? Date rape is great. But in either case or whatever case, here's my issue. Because y'all making it about wives, and that wasn't even what the post was about. The post was about women. And every story, I didn't have a story that I said that somebody's wife did that. Except when Ty asked, what if my dad checked my mother? And I was like, shit, God bless him. And then he made a follow-up, what if my mom was beating on my dad? And I'd be like, yo, nigga, you late, yo. But in either case or whatever case, every example I had nothing to do with relationships. It was my cousin trying to send me off. Another girl cousin trying to send her off. A sister trying to send off my boy. He had to come back and apologize 20 years later. The thing is, women will always start some shit and try to find somebody stronger to fight her battles for. But she doesn't have the discernment that the small dog has that hops around Spike. Or he doesn't have the discernment Spike has to be like, yo, we ain't gonna do that one. We the big sheep. We walk down the hill. We don't, you know what I'm saying? We don't run down the hill. Those things are the things that get dudes killed.
Mm-hmm. Dudes' decision to engage is what get dudes killed. I mean,
So now we're talking. So that's a whole different conversation. Now, what are the conditions that make men feel like they have to engage in that stuff over a toddler?
okay, now that's a great conversation. That's where we need to be going, right? So I will say lack of understanding. Oftentimes it's lack of understanding. Oftentimes it's emotional immaturity, psychological immaturity, or psychological fragility, right? Because men who are purposeful, men who are standing on their square, don't just go run off into random violent situations just because a woman got her feelings hurt. Like Will, I'm still convinced that Will Smith was acting when he smacked Chris Rock. I still don't think that shit was real. And I said, yeah. So I don't think what. Yeah, that's it. I think men who are emotionally fragile, men who are psychologically immature, emotionally immature, underdeveloped. These are the men that run out and fight just because a woman got her feelings hurt or over random infractions or offenses or whatever. Ain't no way. Wait, see a fight over his woman. I guarantee, or fight for his, to defend his woman, to protect his woman. I guarantee you he will. But there are certain scenarios: one, that she's not going to put herself in, and two, he's going to use discernment when it comes to when he's going to engage. It's not going to be just because she got into a random argument. Now, there may be a conversation that takes place depending on what might have been said or how much of a threat a certain guy might have posed to a woman. So then you might say, hey, man, what was that about? You might step to him on that just to let him know, or at least try to figure something out. But just to be jumping off and popping dudes in the head with bottles because somebody said something that she didn't like, come on, man. Real men don't do that. Emotionally fragile men do that.
Right. Who are raised by who? Single mothers, right? Because that's things. Well, I mean, they got to be raised by somebody. They just don't be born that way.
It always has to be a woman's fault, is what I'm saying, right?
Well, I mean, you're saying that they're getting it, that men, you said it in the mammal story with elephants, that they had to take the bull males to calm the young males down because it was just them and their mama. Basically, it was a single mother society.
The mother had no leadership.
They took the women, which are the mothers, and they took the males. And so therefore they created what they did was they created a single mother society, which is replicated in a single mother society in human form, and you have men out of control. You said they did gangs, they did all of these things, and as soon as they brought the dads in, shit shut down and shit got in order. So my thing is that these men that were doing it weren't 60-year-old men who may have had their daddy and know better. These are young men that are raised violently. Ivana, what's her name? The chick that does like the therapy on the TV. Ivana Levant.
Yeah, Alana Van Zandt.
Alana Van Zandt, right? There was an episode she did, and there was a son and a mother, and the son was violent and acted out and everything. And the mother was like, I can't understand why you're doing these things and da 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 da. And he said, because I got it by watching you. It was like that old, commercial. He said, I see you go off the handle. I see you have no temperament, no discernment. I see you do all these things, and I learned it by you because you're the only one teaching me. So now I'm in the street. I see how you react to shit. I react to what I see. I grew up watching you. And you agree that children watch what you do, so what you do is what they follow. So if all a man sees as growing up is his mom's always off the handle, fighting in the street naked, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know where you do
it. Oh no, yeah, when they fight, they like to get naked. That's another thing. But
I didn't see that. I grew up in the hood with a bunch of single mothers, and I didn't see that.
I don't know, man.
Crazy could agree. How many times they be fighting crazy and everybody like, oh, titty popped out?
I'm not saying it don't happen.
I'm saying every damn female fight, so we say they fight to get naked because they pull each other clothes off. So, regardless of that, the point that I'm making is that the absence of the father, right, which happens in the elephant kingdom, animal kingdom. But what she was saying was, where did he get this? And he said, by you. I watch you do this shit. You know what I'm saying? So these young men are watching their mothers being disruptive and chaotic, no control, no discipline, no order. So how is he supposed to be? It's like you want these boys raised by their mama to just be out the woodwork men.
Where the father at?
The father, she pushed him away. She stole the baby.
Every scenario that's happened?
Yes, majority of the scenario it does.
Probably. All these girls
I gave you the statistics. 72% of black fathers.
Let's pull up some statistics. Let's get.
You pull up statistics. I think. You know what?
I didn't hear you. What you said, Crazy? No, I just didn't hear what Crazy said.
I like that. I like when the show get into like data and stuff like that.
So can I say this data point real quick? Oh, just give me a second. Oh, and you got it.
I mean, you're right for the wrong reason, but I let it go.
I'm saying, when you look at the numbers, if 72% of black men or black fathers are married and 60% are, cohabitating, and only 4 to 5% of black fathers are not in the house, are not involved in the kid's life. So even from a co-parenting perspective, the father is there. It's only about a 4 to 6% rate of fathers being deadbeats. Yet it's a 56% rate that black mothers are single on their own and choosing the same time.
Pete, for the people out there, give the source so they can have it.
The source, man, I thought I sent it to you quick. I put it in a thing. I'll say the source when I'm because I got to pull it up. I think singlemothers.com or something.
Black demographic.
No, it wasn't black demographic. It was singlemoms.com. It was actually something for single mothers, and I like the research because it's extensive because it came from Census Bureau, Pew Research, John Hopkins Hospital, all those things. So when you look at it,
culture,
56%. Well, the culture of women, right? There's different cultures.
America.
There's no, because America has societal culture. Then you have family or community culture. Because if American culture affected everybody, then the Amish would do what Americans do. The Mormons would do what Americans do.
They're off to themselves, though, aren't they? They're almost treated like a science project. They're off to themselves.
No, they're not treated like a science project. They have treaties. They're tribes. Just like the natives are tribes. They have their own laws.
Established by who? The women? Did the women establish those tribes?
I don't know. My
but
point is that I don't know who established those. I don't.
You don't like that question.
But no, I don't know. So why would I? I just said I don't know. Right?
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't.
It was the men. It's the men.
Well, whatever it is. My point is.
But where culture is missing, the men are missing.
Because the women kick them out.
They can't kick the Amish men out. Women aren't strong enough to kick men out.
Because the Amish have a treaty and they have laws that when the women are there, they own the children.
The men enforce the treaty.
No, right? Because they keep the kids.
So men run it, right?
Yeah, no, women get to keep the kids. That's American culture.
Men run it, right?
Unless you have a treaty.
Men run it. Right?
It's title 4D.
Men run it. Men enforce it, right?
What are you talking about?
You know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm saying where men are running it. This is where that order is. Where men are absent, that's where the disorder is. Period.
Right, but a man doesn't have to enforce the law. It just has to be in the household. And there's culture. There's different culture.
Culture is a top-down philosophy, bro, not a bottom-up. It's not household to household. Culture is taught from the top down. Wherever the leaders are, that's what culture is taught.
So let me ask you this: you and your wife subscribe to everything American society does, and the way you raise your kids, you do everything American society tells you to do.
Culture is a top-down.
No, right. And if it's a top-down, then the culture in your home should be that relevant of what American society. So you can't tell me America is society.
I'll answer the question. Let me ask you. America is dysfunctional as hell. So no, we run against what American culture is.
There you go.
That's why we winning, bro. That's why we winning.
Now you answered that question.
But America is a chaos.
No, you said you answered it.
That's what you see. Average home, average family is chaotic because America is chaotic. American culture is chaotic. Culture is a top-down philosophy. This is why you have
somehow it doesn't affect you.
This is why you have millions of people with the same practices from household to household. Is it because they all met in some big ass ballroom and agreed on those things? No, it's because somebody with a big microphone and a big TV said, this is what we do. and then it trickles down, and people do what they were told. Most people are not very analytical or deeply insightful or enlightened.
There we go. No, but we always go to there's no way to play.
You know, I thought I kind of co-signed Vaun on that one. Hey, but I want to say something about Ty though, because Ty is hilarious.
Easy, man.
Ty, it's not easy, and it's wrong.
No, it's not easy for you, but it's easy for
you got Chinatown that got their own culture. You got Greektown that got their own culture. Everybody needs their own culture.
Nah, man, I ain't on that bullshit y'all talking about. I'm laughing at Ty. Ty going crazy in comments, yo. Hey, so Ty say, where's the line between where you physically have to defend your woman?
Let me answer that.
What's the crossing line?
I got a real scenario.
Hey, hold on, I'm gonna tell my. I just want to answer that real quick. It's gonna be quick. Hey, Ty, here's when you know you have to defend for your woman physically, right? When you become in that nigga, like she motherfucker, something like fuck you and that nigga. That's when you hop in, dog. Cause now you fighting for you. Right. When you become in that nigga.
She pulled you in, right?
Look, we went on a getaway. I don't want to give too many details, but we went on a getaway. It was a small group of us, maybe I don't know, maybe 10 of us, and somebody said something. One of the guys where we were said something to my wife that was inappropriate. Now she didn't tell me while we were there because she didn't want nothing to pop off, right? So when we get back, she's like, "Yo, so and so said such and such." I'm like, "Damn, why didn't you tell me when we were there?" She's like, "Nah, because I didn't want it to escalate." I said, "No problem." I got on the phone, like, "Hey, bro, let me rap with you. We can't do that." And he's like, "Oh man, I didn't mean no harm, blah blah blah," and he ate it, right? So I'm saying sometimes it's as simple as a phone call where you can check somebody, and look, even if she would have said something to me where we were, I wouldn't have like jumped in his ass like and started swinging, but I would have stepped to him like, I don't know exactly what I would have said. It would have been in the moment, but I would have said something to let him know that shit can't go.
You learned the art of fighting without fighting.
Huh? Say what?
The art of fighting without fighting.
I mean, it was, she put me in a real good position because sometimes my temper ain't the greatest either. So it was good that I was able to just call him and be like, and we had a conversation and he apologized, and that was the end of it. So
you're not the angry black man.
I'm not an angry. Summertime. You ain't always got to go swinging. But again, man, it's culture, man. And
I agree, but I say it's black women's culture.
Let me land the plane, bro.
Let me say one thing before y'all stop.
Black women culture.
I want to say something to Aaron real quick.
Hold on, that crazy.
Fella, I want to say something to Aaron real quick. Aaron, I mean, you might think there's no American culture versus like, I don't know, maybe you think traditions is born from culture. That 4th of July and all that type of stuff. Culture is just a mentality, man. You know what I'm saying? So there is American culture. There is a mentality.
Yeah,
there's a mentality.
Rich
culture. You might be thinking about rich cultures got these nice traditions and stuff like that. But go ahead, y'all.
I just want to say something about America.
As I was finishing up, what I was saying is, I'm tagging off a where, like Ty said, the hell with her, right? When you talk to, there are men who experience a certain level of relationship with women, and there are men who have not achieved a certain level of relationship with women. So where you find guys who have achieved, like where me and Quasi are, you'll never hear us say, "Fuck that bitch," and then it just is what it is. But when you have men who have the type of interactions with women that you've experienced, maybe it's easier to default to that. You, Ty, Oak, Pete, maybe y'all get to that place because you don't have that type of vibe, that type of understanding, or that type of interaction with your woman. But dudes who have a high level of harmony with their women, you don't hear them saying "the hell with her," over random shit the way y'all do. We don't call them, we don't call our wives or our women that we genuinely care about, derogatory words. We don't go into it like that. Y'all have a whole different get down, and it's understandable. It just is what it is.
So I want to
shout out to Sun Kids. Shout out to Sun Kids. Please click the like button, share the stream. Yeah, what the sister said. Go ahead, y'all.
I'm gonna connect one with. We always complain about American culture, or if America is bad, as if America doesn't have any good culture, right? Because so the American dream, right, is the father, the husband, wife, 2 kids, a dog, and a nice house in a nice neighborhood with the white picket fence, right? That is the American, what was being sold as the American package, right? So you can't say America culture is all the way toxic.
I never said that.
Right? Well, but you're saying as if the reason why people are this way is because American culture. Well, American culture gives you different choices. You just choose the one you want to assimilate to. Right? You assimilated. American culture says you can marry a woman and live the American dream. You can be a man marrying a man or a woman marrying a woman. And eventually some trans actions, right? Right? Pun intended, right? So America just says, yo, these are your options. You can follow which one you want to do. If you want to be a single mother, you could be that. We'll give you that. If you want to be a family, you could be that. America doesn't deteriorate. It doesn't say you can't choose. That's the freedom. That's why people say you come to America, you can be how you want. So when we say American culture,
coming a liberal culture, do what the hell you do.
Right. You just have liberal constructs that people subscribe to, right? Just no different than RBG, no different than the Hoteps, no different than Islam, no different than Moorish, no different than I just named them, the people in Pennsylvania, the Amish, right? Whatever it is, you can subscribe to that culture. So America doesn't give you one; it gives you many options. This is the one you choose. Now, the one you choose becomes your culture. So this is why I say the single motherhood is a Black woman's culture, because that's what they assimilate to. They breed it.
White women ain't single mothers.
Hold on. Let me finish. They push the agenda.
Guyanese women ain't single mothers.
He said, "Beat me in my."
Right there, yeah.
Shout out to Ty for reminding me. I got.
Hold on. This is what I'm saying. This is where I say, please show it the insult. Just for right now. Let me
insult. That was an observation. Single
mother. It's not even about. Well, I'll say this. You know what? I could come to this country. Well, even I was born here, right? So let's get that correct. I was born here. My birth certificate is pervasive. Okay, cool. My parents came here, and they could have their own culture. Right? In Brooklyn, we have Labor Day Parade, which is really West Indian Day Parade, and we do the same thing that they do at Carnival. So America don't stop us from it. It says you can keep your culture. My mother could go buy pastries from the Guyanese shop. My dad could buy a roti from the Trinidadian shop. You know what I'm saying? America says whatever culture you want to assimilate, we allow it. Whereas other countries don't allow you to do. If you go to Abu Dhabi, go kiss a girl, go kiss your wife in public.
I can go to Guyana and Trinidad, and I'll see rampant single motherhood.
Probably so. Probably so. Probably so.
Not probably.
Probably so.
Not probably.
Probably so. Probably so. Okay, let's just say you're right. Let's just say you're right. Cool.
Let's say that.
Right. Let's say you're right. Matter of fact, you're right. You'll see, baby, single mothers. But we're talking about the state of America where we live in.
I'm talking about the planet, because you keep putting that shit on Black women.
But here's what I'm saying: whether the planet, you don't live all over the planet. You live in your house, in your town, doing your day-to-day shit, dude.
I got the internet.
Nothing is going on in Africa. There you go. Thank you, baby. I'm trying to talk. Right. Internet.
I'm always going to interrupt when you start talking. You know, when you start trashing the culture that I come from, because you're talking about my mama, you're talking about my sister, you're talking about my brother. You know, so now I'm gonna talk about you.
That's why.
I'm gonna talk about your grandmama. I'm gonna talk about your sister. See, because they experiencing the same.
You talking about my mama?
Which brings us right back to, it's not my parents, my siblings, my grandparents. It's my mama, my sister, my grandma. Fuck them. Look. I'm gonna be there. Ty, look.
Your people, whether you in Trinidad,
when you go to court, I'm gonna be. This is my summons, Ty. I got jury duty. You gonna come on? You gonna get that money, man? I'm on the jury.
Hold on, y'all. You feel sorry for who?
Yeah, Hey, look. Wherever you go, wherever you see brown people at, you're gonna see a very similar dynamic. You're gonna see
I can't agree with that because you're not giving any numbers. My point is that we're
gonna see large
about,
levels of
hold on,
chaos.
we're talking about.
That's just what it is.
We're talking crazy
around the world.
Come on, at some point you got to be like, all right, thank you.
Yeah,
so
around the world.
So
I'm
regardless
saying
around the world, regardless around the world, right? Because that is just based. That is just based on speculation. You were interrupt. I didn't finish.
Yeah, but I'm always going to interrupt when you start talking bad about.
You get what I'm saying? That's what you can't allow, Chris. Is that a fair debate? Just because I say something he don't like?
I mean, that's how y'all did me at the beginning of the show. It took me over an hour before I could even say anything.
No, then you were eating food.
So now it's my turn to be rude to you.
Okay.
Especially when
you have fun? Are you finished? You still got the show to do.
You say something about my mama, I'm gonna say something about your mom.
All right. So I said nothing about your mama, but if she happens to fall in the league of what I'm talking about,
in the same league as your mama fall in.
All right, maybe so.
Man, y'all niggas down there 50. We ain't doing your mama jokes.
Exactly.
Just saying, like, you can't come over here.
Nobody saying you're Vaun, but why are you making it personal? See, this is what I'm saying.
Because you can't come over here as no immigrant, man. You can't come over here as an immigrant talking about
here we
trash and Black American culture like you come from something better.
Control it.
Like you come from something better. Like your culture is trash too.
Oh, crazy, control it.
Let him rock, Bob.
I'm saying, watch your mouth, then. That's
control
all.
It. What you mean, watch your mouth? Nobody said your mama. If I said your mama, I say it. And if I say it, I fucking mean it. And I'll say, do something about it.
I ain't gonna do nothing. I'm just gonna say something
like that. You can't. So cut this shit. Ain't nobody say your mama. Nobody say your fucking sister. I'm talking about a culture in this fucking country, and you making it fucking personal.
Because you make it.
At some point, the shit is getting idiotic because you can't defend your position on merit, so you got to throw bullshit insults. I don't give a fuck about Trinidad or Guyana. The shit you saying. What I'm saying is, cut it. Crazy. I won't do this no more if you don't stop it. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Go ahead.
This is the same reason why I walked away.
You gotta stop it too.
There you go. At the end of the day, Black woman is a culture, right? Because Black is a culture. It's not even a people. It's a people who subscribe to a culture. Black is not a nationality. It's not a state, nor is it a country. It's not even a fucking race, because a race is just your human race. It's not a biology or nothing. It's just what you assimilate to. So those who want to assimilate to Black culture, that's what it is. And it allows single motherhood. It is pushed by single motherhood. And single motherhood is the largest problem that kills the community. That you are complaining about, and it kills the men that you are complaining that are not being. These boys that are to be the men that you want them to be, to have discernment, how they gonna get it if they got no daddy in their life?
Hold on, wait. I'm not gonna look. Black single motherhood is an American thing, but here's the thing: it's not that it's Black culture.
Thank you.
It's niggas won't choke they bitch. They won't train a toddler. No, I'm being dead ass. America, no, for real. Black men are very cowardly when it comes to being proactive.
Oh.
So they're reactive, which means America's laws are the default laws. Shut up, Ty. American laws are the default laws. If you go off American default laws, then the whole nation is a playground. It's a daycare for toddlers. All the cultures that you talked about, whether they're based on religion or most of them are based on religion or tribal rights, whether you're talking about the Amish, the Mormons, whatever the case may be. They were proactive and said, man, this is where we going with it. This is our shit. This is how we gonna move our shit. And they put down the paperwork to say, yo, this is what we believe. That's why even when all this COVID stuff happened, people were saying you got to get the shot unless you have a religious exemption or a tribal exemption. Because they proactively said, yo, this is what we're about. This is what we're going to tolerate. This is what we're not going to tolerate. So that's not necessarily they have a culture. They do, but their culture is based on the laws they can enforce. America is great at letting you enforce laws. The problem with liberals are they yell so much so they can get laws changed at a federal level, things that's supposed to be done at a local level. And all niggas want to do is save a bitch, so they never say, you know what, this is what we need in order to create our culture. They say, man, we wish we were white. We want to fuck some white girls because our girls want to fuck white guys, but they really can't. They just act like they can. And goddamn it, all we care about is sex. All we care about is sex and entertainment because it's a minstrel class. I want to play basketball, make music, do art, whatever the fuck, and get bitches. It's some real 1920s jazz musician shit. But nobody says, you know what, as a culture, and then y'all put the leaders y'all put in this minstrels, a bunch of dudes that depend on women to live, pastors,
those leaders,
activists.
How those leaders get chosen? Now who?
Black women. They vote them.
No. Oak. Speak intelligently on that.
Now,
What
it depends on what era. If we're talking pre-1980 black women, if we're talking post-1980, they hand selected. And the reason I say pre-1980 women because they all were religious leaders. And religion is pretty much run by black women. Dudes don't really go to church like that. Niggas be like, I'm Christian. Like, when you go to church, I go to church on Christmas every year, Christmas and Easter.
Prior to 1980, dude was heavy in the church, though, right? There was a lot of black men in church prior to 1980.
Yeah, gays, recovering drug addicts, niggas getting dragged by their girlfriend. Niggas just don't wake up on Sunday like, I'm going to church, be by myself. They don't go to church. They get drugged in church. You know what I'm saying? No man needs another man to tell him some bullshit that he read. Church
Who chose W.E.B. Du Bois?
What's my thought on W.E.B. Du Bois?
I said who chose? How did he become a black leader? Women?
Honestly, he didn't. That's why he was a hater.
He ended up being a hater, right?
He started off being a hater.
Actually, I think he was brought in as a hater.
He was brought in as a hater.
Okay, so who brought him in?
I'm not sure. I know he was under Frederick Douglass, and he thought he was gonna get the slot when Freddie died, but Marcus Garvey did the work, so then he was mad at Marcus. Then Booker T did the work, so he was mad at Booker. So then he got a bunch of Jews to set up a shell operation, the NAACP. The only Negro thing in it was the name, because everything was ran by Jews. And he was like, I'm gonna take the money and I'm gonna tell niggas up.
So who chose Martin Luther King then? Was it women that chose Martin Luther King? Malcolm X?
Pastors.
Who chose these leaders?
Pastors.
No, but was it women that chose these pastors? Because you said the leaders are chosen by women, and I disagree. I think I don't think women chose Elijah Muhammad. I don't think women chose Elijah. Women didn't choose Malcolm X. Women didn't choose Martin Luther King. Women didn't even choose Jesse Jackson.
Men chose Martin, but women didn't choose. Here's the thing. Once again, now we go back to what your laws are, right? So the law of Islam is, who was I talking to? I was talking to somebody the other day, and I said, man, I think Elijah Muhammad is doing. I mean, not Elijah. I think Louis Farrakhan is doing a horrible job because he's acting like a baby boomer, and he think he's gonna live forever instead of creating a successor and handing off the hat. So it's gonna be a lot of turmoil when he dies because there's nobody that's in play. He hasn't given somebody that stamp. But
wrong. Somebody agreeing with.
But
that's a joke, bro. Go ahead.
Oh shit, nigga, I gotta reconstitute my thoughts on that shit. I'm wrong. Shit, man. And then I don't know. You need a second. She need a co-signer though. It's two or more. You know what I'm saying? It's the fellowship. The fellowship of estrogen. You know what I'm saying? All right. As far as tie goes, women didn't choose Biden. Black women chose Biden. Black women chose Hillary. Black women choose whatever the fuck is the dumbest shit possible. Women didn't choose Biden.
Because of black women.
White women didn't choose Biden.
The black women are the reason that Biden is in.
What? Man, them liberals, motherfuckers that suck dick.
I'm asking you directly. You're telling me that black women are the reason that Biden is in. That's the reason.
Biden stole the election. That's why Biden is in.
Okay. But he said thank you to black women though.
You know what I'm saying? But black women voted for him.
Yeah, they wanted him in there because there was two votes, right? There's social approval.
What percentage is black women voting as a voting bloc? What percentage does black women represent as a voting bloc?
Two different
questions.
Tell me
how that.
No. Two different questions. The percentage of black women that vote
is. Need black women to just be.
No, I'm not. No, I ain't like nothing. I love black women when they in a toddler form. Like when they just cuddling and rolling on the floor and asking for tea parties. But once they start talking and thinking they could think, man, it's just go downhill. I use black women all the time to make my decisions. Whenever I don't know shit, I'll post something and ask women like, ladies, what do you think? Two or more black women say the same thing. I'll be like, okay, I got to go the other direction. I judge my whole life on black women thoughts. My whole life. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, shit, I got clarity now, nigga. Look.
Yeah.
Black
I don't
women
think black women run so-called black culture. I think they might be
we gotta get him on stage, bro.
I think they might be thrust out front. But as far as who, like for instance, you know, Kamala was black girl magic, right? Kamala was black girl magic, but she ain't black.
Kamala only got 2% of the vote when she actually ran for herself. Nobody wanted Kamala.
Yeah, but as soon as she got on the ticket, black women were going on social media.
Because as soon as she got on the ticket, look, this is what happened. Kamala got on the ticket.
We gotta get O-Brand on stage.
No, nobody gives a shit about Kamala. What Kamala went right was she came out with some Chucks and Pearls, and all the black chicks was like, goofy bitches. You know what I mean? Selling body parts and selling prostitutes and vans and blaming black men and fucking body snatchers, fucking slaves. Anyway, fuck them okay. Anyway, but black women's influence is bigger than the 7% of their vote. They're only 7% of the vote. Their influence is higher. That's why they always finding black women and gay black men to push the agenda, because blacks create the culture. As far as Ty asking who runs the culture, black women run the culture, but black men create the culture. Black culture is deemed on what 16-year-old girls like to get into that box Chevy. So the men have they be like, yo, man, that ass though. So the men do shit to impress women, which is dumb, because you'll never impress a woman because they never fucking happy. And then the women do what the fuck they want to do. And then that's how the culture goes. Whenever men decide they're going to be men instead of being black men, because black is for who? Women, gays, fellas. So once they decide to be men instead of being black men, then they'll steer their ship in a different direction. But culturally speaking, black women always vote wrong. Always. Every chance they get.
Oh. Who pays these? Black Lives Matter as a group, right? That's ran by black women, right?
Yep.
And funded by a Jew.
Gays and felons.
Come on now, look, hold on now.
That's crazy. Black Lives Matter is number black women, gays, and felons.
Right, but
who do they ride for?
But whose bidding are they doing? Who's really running Black Lives Matter?
Here's the thing: who's funding? No. It's not who's running; it's who's funding, right?
Okay. Are you not beholden to who pays you?
To a certain extent, but women, to pay a woman to create chaos is like paying a kid to eat candy, nigga.
And they got the Marxist agenda. They said that they're self-made Marxists.
See, that was nice. That was a nice reflection.
Hold on.
Yeah, because you are kind of low though.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Can y'all hear me?
It's a nice deflection.
Yeah, we can hear you, just low.
It's just low.
Hey, America's been funding black. Continue.
Yeah, America always funds black.
The question was, who runs Black Lives Matter? And you know what the answer is. I know you want to be.
Women, gays, and felons run it.
Gays and felons. That's it.
Okay, let me ask you.
Felons run it.
You ever had a job before?
Yeah.
Regular 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm black, so I don't get jobs.
Not you, bro. I'm talking. So when you got to that job, did you do whatever the hell you want to do, or was there a certain thing you had to do based on your employer's standards?
I have a better example than that. I'll give you a better example.
I want to use my example. I know you got a better one,
but your example goes back to the employee handbook. What they doing is they taking grant money. So that means they had to have a mission statement and send it out, and then people pay you based on the mission statement. So in the mission statement though, I could do all type of deleterious shit. So because I got a nonprofit too. So if I submit for a grant and I say this is to educate young black men, then they'll give me money for young black men. But if I say I want to add girls to it, that's a whole different program. Or if I want to put white boys in it, whole different program, a whole different. Because everything goes back on codes. When you do it, you have to put in the 3-digit code. So the code dictates.
Why would that man fund that, or I don't even want to say his name on here, but y'all know who he is. His initials are GS. Everybody knows who he is, right? So, right. So why would this super billionaire ruler in a foreign country, why would he fund Black Lives Matter? You mean to tell me that they just reached out and found this billionaire from another country, and he just decided to fund them based on a nice little write-up? That's what you think? Seriously, you telling me that?
No, I can answer the question. I'm saying they made a write up, and you have to do what's under your mission statement. But if you're asking me why he gave women, gays, and felons money, because who better to destabilize Earth than women, gays, and felons? It's a smart business move. You know what I'm saying? When I first heard of Black Lives Matter, I had a friend of mine. He said, Black Lives Matter is doing a meetup at Roosevelt University out here in Chicago. And I said, man, I don't give a fuck about that shit. He said, man, you gotta come. I was like, man, I don't want to come. He's like, yo, they got free food. I said, oh shit, man, I'm gonna slide through, right? Free Little Caesars, man. I'm all down for the free Little Caesars, right? Because they had sponsors and everything, right? So I slide up there and I listen to him speak. It's 3 women and the worst looking transgender dude I've ever seen in my life. I have since then I have seen worse, but this was the most projectish looking transgender man I've ever seen. Like, there was nothing about that man that didn't tell me he was a man with a horrible $14 beauty supply wig on, talking about people pick on him because he wants to be a woman. And I'm like, nigga, I think they just pick on you on general principle, my nigga. You look horrible. but and he's talking about how hard it is to, because here's the thing, because once you want to be a woman, then you're dysfunctional by nature, right? So he came through telling this whole speech about how he feels like men will rape him in the alley and how he feels like it's not safe. Nobody wants your ugly ass. Not gay man, not straight man. Are you out your motherfucking mind? I have seen some fine straight men that I had to look for an Adam's apple. Like, is that a man? You is not that, dude. Like, goddamn it. So they had their whole speech, and everything they said was about gay rights. Everything was about making Boys Town more safe.
Destroying the nuclear family, basically, right?
Right. But then when they do their sales pitch for the public, they have a hashtag that says Black Lives Matter, and they show up at these rallies when felons get killed. They only rally for the felons though. They don't rally when Castile gets killed. They don't rally for the little boy, the 12-year-old boy in Cleveland that get killed, because they ain't got no criminal background. They gotta wait till a nigga in Baltimore gets killed with 47 arrests, or goddamn it, you know what I'm saying?
Can I put my tinfoil hat on for just a second?
Go ahead.
I don't believe for 1 second, and I don't believe that you believe for 1 second, that this small group of people organically found this super trillionaire and he funded the destruction of the black family based on what they organically want. I don't believe that shit for 1 second, and neither do you. That organization was started by black men in Ferguson, and then it was co-opted, right?
No.
It wasn't started by black men?
No.
Not the organization itself as it comes to be now. I'm talking about the grassroots movement was started by black men.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna say.
Let me build this for a second.
No, but I just it's not. But I'll tell you why it's not accurate. Because niggas hate paperwork. Ferguson started the hashtag. No, Ferguson started the hashtag that got hot. Ferguson started the Black Lives Matter hashtag. Ferguson wore T-shirts that said Black Lives Matter. They was just really just niggas selling T-shirts in liquor stores.
Yeah.
The dyke chicks made it an organization. So I can't say they started a movement. I can switch that with movement. They started the movement in Ferguson. I'll give you that.
So then how does this super billionaire get involved? Come on. I mean, we've had you and I talk before, and I know you know better than that. Maybe you just don't want to admit it right now on TV, but I know you know better than that. I know you know that these women just sit in some room somewhere and write this shit up, and then found a billionaire, and then he was like, "Ooh, that sounds like a good idea."
What happened is they was already on a self-destructive shit, and somebody bought the hashtag and made it an organization and put them in that place. But they was already chaotic motherfuckers. This didn't come out of nowhere. They had been chaos their whole life. I've saw them before. They was pure.
That might be true.
So,
but where did they get but they don't have no fuel, man. You just maybe even if they were, let's just say they were a self-contained and chaotic group, right? They don't have the fuel, they don't have the ammunition to do what they did on such a broad scale without somebody being in agreement with the mission to destroy the black family.
Women, gays, and felons.
Facts. Everything boils down to the same people.
No, I'm not even talking about. No,
they get funding though, right? You got to have funding to do that, man. And people don't just do that.
They got funding, and they already had a trending hashtag. So that's your marketing right there. You just put money behind the marketing, right?
That ain't what bought that $6 million house, though, is it?
No. No, I didn't. What happened was,
come on, man, talk turkey.
The hashtag did buy it for them.
No, the backing was. I actually did a video about this before. The backing was women, gays, and felons. If you go to Google right now and pull up Black Lives Matter, look, okay, that's fine. If you pull up Black Lives Matter images right now, all you'll see is Asian for Black Lives. It's all women though. Asian women for Black Lives Matter. Lesbians for Black Lives Matter. It's women, gays, and felons. It ain't got to be black women, gays, and felons. Women, gays, and felons. That's who backed it. Women, gays, and felons. And they
a lot of people backed it, and it wasn't just GS. GS was the first initial donor at $10 million. Then Ford donated. Then then they pushed the whole thing with the George Floyd. And so that pushed everybody else. They totally collected about $2.2 million. And
GS is clear.
Hold on, can I finish? I'm just giving you real facts to what you're saying. I didn't deny that GS wasn't the.
He don't get involved in those small stuff, though, right?
Yeah, but he's the initial backer. But he only donated $10 million. You know what I'm saying? Ford came in. No, he donated $40 million, and Ford came in and donated like $100 million. And then when the George Floyd, everybody started donating. That's where when they were putting the money in because they were trying to act like they're investing in anti-racism. But if you look on their website, it was actually Act Blue. All the money, it was Democratic Party, Act Blue. All the funds went to Act Blue. You can read their website. It tells you that the funds go to there, and they collected over $2 billion. GS did not fund $2 billion on its own. He made the initial initial investment, and then others have as well. And everybody else promoted it, especially the minstrel class was promoting it. But even at the end of the day, regardless who pays for it, they're selling their soul. You know what I'm saying? Could they approach you and pay you? No, the way you set up, you would say, no, it ain't enough money for you to sell out your family or your peoples or whatever. So at the end of the day, these individuals, funded or not, chose to do chaos, and they followed the Marxists. They were pushing Marxism, so it was inherent in their belief. So all you got to do is get somebody who already believes in what you're doing, so you can fund them. You know what I'm saying? If somebody put it like this, you wouldn't be D-Wade, right? Okay. Nobody could fund you to be D-Wade. You know what I'm saying? But not to say that. Saying he's pushing that shit, you know what I'm saying? Nobody could do that.
I guess what I'm asking,
right? So, but you have to be that person. D-Wade is that person, so you can fund that. So all I'm saying is that regardless who funds it, that person has to be it. So these women had to be had to be Marxists, had to be anti-nuclear family. You know, I remember what's his name? Your boy, he going through it now. Frederick Douglass School. You know what I'm talking about? Umar. Yeah, he was speaking of something, and some girl came out and she was talking about da 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 da, and then he was like, "Yo," that's why he said, I be this. You choose to be that, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. So what they say, gay's the new black. You know what I'm saying? I mean, either way, is what you subscribe to, regardless of what's out there. Right? Your culture is what you subscribe to. It don't matter what they put on TV. Can it influence? Yes, but you still make a choice, and you make a choice for your children on what they watch. You got your grandkids. right? If you're gonna play him hip hop, if anything, you're gonna play him Rakim, who never curse. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna play probably old school boom bap, so they can hear lyrical. You probably you'll play like De La Soul or Tribe Called Quest. If you're gonna play that music, you're not playing Snoop, you're not playing NWA. You know what I'm saying? You might listen to it on your own and be like, "Yo, that was that era," but you're not doing that. So your children are not, and your children and your grandchildren are not gonna subscribe to that. So even though that's American culture and all I'm saying is American culture allows people to be them. What you want to subscribe to is on you. So you can be, of a dark complexion and share that with everybody else, but you choose to do what you do with your family because America gives you that choice.
I agree. You know what, I want. Can I add this, man? I think that when you start talking about billion-dollar organizations like Ford, like GS, let's throw in Act Blue, which is basically the Democratic Party.
Who?
Act Blue. Yeah. When you have hundreds of millions of dollars pouring in for a cause, that's not a bottom-up philosophy. That's not just a group of women coming and saying, let me, present this, and then all of a sudden we got all of these white organizations that's willing to fund our great idea. No, that sounds like something that happened the other way around, where you get these corporations that come together and say, we need to find somebody to push this agenda. And then somebody's going to be willing to sell out if the price is right. You're going to always have that, right? So what you guys are sounding, what you guys are trying to push is this idea that these women just sat in the room by themselves and was like, yep, this is what we want to do. And then they presented it to these billionaires and they was like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. And even if that was the case, with their mission being to destroy the Black family, that runs counter to this argument that there is no racism or there is no targeted effort to destroy the Black family when you got billionaires throwing tens of billions, maybe $100 billion plus invested in your cause. But again, I say it was not a bottom-up philosophy. That was something that I can't believe that these organizations who form think tanks to come up with these ideas, they strategize about if one thing a billionaire loves is his money, and he ain't throwing it away on no frivolous shit. So then these people, these organizations strategized and they found front people to push this idea. Did they sell out? Yeah, I'll give you that. Did they find the most chaotic people to sell out? I'll give you that. I don't have any argument with that. But what I'm talking about is the mission itself and the origin of that mission. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but I mean,
that didn't start from the bottom up with just some regular hood chicks.
Well, a lot of things can start, right? It just depends on who perpetuates it. You know how many?
You can't give me that.
All I'm saying is that's not what makes it happen.
I'm saying,
it's the people that perpetuated it. Give you what?
I'm asking you, can you give me that?
Give you what?
I'm saying that wasn't a bottom up. We got some random chicks sitting in the room, and they presented these random chicks, lesbian, gay, trans, whatever, presented this plan to destroy the Black nuclear family to the billionaires, and the billionaires said, "Yeah, that's a great idea. I'll fund that." I'm saying it happened the other way around.
No, I'm gonna say no. Hold on. Let me answer this question. The reason why I'm gonna say yes and I'm gonna say no, right? The reason is it is a bottom up for the sake that the way they live their life creates that, regardless if the billionaire invested or not, right? The moment I don't know what happened to the one of you there, Vaun, or everybody.
I'm still here. I don't know what Black did.
Okay, Black just doing, he's doing some for himself. Yeah, you took.
He flashing his book.
Yeah. So. Oh well, yeah, but everybody want to see. They don't want to see your book while we talking, man. We do that at the end. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, why is it a bottom up, and why it isn't, right? Or to me, it's both, right? It's both. Being a Marxist by nature, right, is if you subscribe to that belief system, everything you do, all your intentions is to do that, is to break up the Black family. If you are, of that sect of that rainbow coalition, right? Or the T coalition, right? You already are doing that. So that's why I say it's a bottom up. No, I'm just saying, just naturally, you're not for it, right? Because the stud is not pushing the nuclear family. We know that,
right?
Stud is not pushing that, so they're actually against it. Yep. So that's why the point that I say, is it grassroots as an organization, bottom up? No, but is it bottom up from a belief system? Yeah. All they did was combine with somebody who could finance their ideals, or the person who wanted to have their ideals and finance it. They found the people who could run the mission. So, is it a balance of both?
Too, right?
Say that again. I don't know what
GS. Why didn't GS and Ford and Act Blue? Why didn't they throw hundreds of millions of dollars behind Umar? What he was trying to do?
Well, Act Blue is this. They're not a.
Whoever they are, the question is still the same.
They're just a medium.
Why didn't these people throw hundreds of millions of dollars behind Umar? Why did these people throw hundreds of millions of dollars behind Umar?
I wouldn't throw $5 at Umar, but
you get what I'm saying, though, right?
Well, actually, they would. I'm gonna say this. Actually, they would. Believe it or not,
they didn't though.
No, they didn't, because he didn't file the right things for it. There's money for whatever Umar wants.
Oh, look at Ty Perkins. Look at Ty Perkins. What do you say?
Man,
no, down that below. One more down. They're all lesbians. There you go.
Yeah, but that's not true though, Ty. They just don't like black men. Yep. Here's the thing: the feminist agenda, irregardless of lesbianism, the feminist agenda was to quote unquote fight the patriarchy, right? So for some black chicks to say they're going to fight the patriarchy, that's just the black sect of the feminist agenda that gets funded by Ford and Playboy and Westinghouse and everybody else. They need women to be consumers, and they need men to be disenfranchised to the point that the sons can be effeminate, so they can put you back in slavery and rebrand it as essential workers.
Isn't that racism?
Classism.
But you said black men. You didn't say men. You said black men specifically. That would be racism, wouldn't it?
No, because black is for women, gays, and felons. But here's the thing: black men is not. Cause y'all call yourself black. Black is because black is already owned by the government. You're either legally white or you're black. So black is already a slave class. It just got to figure out how to break the men to go back into slavery. There's a lot of people who are darker than me that aren't black. People have a nationality: Senegalese, Kenyans, Nigerians. They're not black, and they're not even considered black. They're trying to consider them black now, but they're not considered black.
They call themselves black too. But yeah, you're right. A lot of foreign dark-skinned people call themselves black.
They only call themselves black when they're around the blacks and they need some help because they can't fight. Any other time, they whatever they are. Same thing with Mexicans. Mexicans yell up.
They call themselves black to identify with Black Americans, but they'll tell you I'm Senegalese first. Nigerian first.
Just like Mexicans. Mexicans be like, we all minorities. Nigga, no. But so everybody wants to be black until it's time to be black. So
everybody want to be gay, felon. What did you say? Lesbian, gay, and felon?
Women, gay, and felon. Everybody want to be a woman, gay, or felon until it's time. Here's the elephant example is cool, but here's a different example. There's a lot of boys that aren't taught accountability by their mothers, and the first time they get accountability is when they go to jail. Then they come back and be Hebrew Israelites or some goofy shit. But that's the first time they ever had order and structure in their life. And they gravitate toward it, but they never saw it because they don't like school, because school is all women from kindergarten to 5th grade. They, you know what I'm saying? They've been passed from woman to woman to woman, a bunch of passive ass aggression. And by the time they get to learn, yo, this isn't how you operate. Normally, it's in jail. Um, Hush, Aaron. So the at the end of the day, when you go to jail, they separate you. Like I said, I hang out with a bunch of sheriffs. They hate working juvenile because all them boys wild as shit, and they hate working the 5th and 6th ward because was division whatever, yeah, division 5, division 6, because those are for the 18 to 25-year-olds. It's like that's where all the violence go on. He said once you get past 25, you just got a bunch of old heads that just want to watch TV. You know what I'm saying? To go back to the crib. So aggression in general is a young man's thing, right? The fights I would have at fucking 18, I wouldn't have at 40. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But during the time of that national aggression, if it's focused on women, gay, felon shit, you lose focus. Like Ty said something that I really didn't agree with. Oh, he said that gay black women are trying to destroy us now. Ty, if you ever say you can't beat up a girl again, dog, we gonna fight. Fuck them faggot bitches. If you ever say you can't beat a girl again, dog, we gonna fight in the street.
Nah, I can't co-sign on that. Oh,
man, look, just because you in Atlanta, look, nobody asked you to go to Atlanta. If I can't be the girl in Atlanta, I don't care where I'm at. If I can't be the girl, dog, I'm putting my Jordans up. I'm just gonna give me some Crocs and just walk the land like Moses, man.
Nah, that cop video you sent me, when Shorty was slugging with him.
You know, Chicago girls, they hard. You know, somebody taught me how to fight a Chicago girl because I always said I don't fight girls because these chicks can take a punch. They practice doing sex. They want to get slapped and choked and do what they call them, raspberries and all type of goofy shit. These bitches fight when they fucking. So you know, a real fight, there's foreplay to them. So somebody taught me they was like hit them in the armpit. So you know, now I just swing for girls' armpits. I ain't playing no games. You know, you gotta hit the soft spot. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But nah, you know what I'm saying? Hey man, I gotta protect myself.
I think when I as I listen to y'all talk, man, and you say that black men are the target or tawny men or whatever you know, name or moniker you want to put on them, we know exactly who you're talking about when you say it. And so for you to acknowledge that there is a concerted effort, we say I owe them dudes, I mean chicks, yeah. Look, for you to acknowledge on one hand that there's a concerted effort to destroy black men, right? By whatever means you want to choose, whether it's gay women, whatever, I don't give a damn. If there is a concerted effort, regardless of who it's from, that doesn't qualify as racism to you?
Classism. No. But here's my thing. They
black men are the only one in the class by themselves? Is that what you're saying?
No. Here's the thing.
Because they attack all American men, really.
They attack all American men.
That's not what you said. You said
no. Anything heterosexual, they'll attack.
No. They attack. No. Here's how that works. Here's how that works.
Karen just holds the line a little bit longer.
That's not what he said, though.
No, I know what I said, and I'm gonna stand on what I said. Here's what happens.
Say what I said. Walk with me.
No, here's what I said. Because even under that auspice, they'll get rid of some of their own too, just to show it's not racist. But it'll be their trailer park. Because black culture is really just dark-skinned trailer park culture.
Yep.
So they'll get rid of their trailer park crackers. They do it all over. They do it anywhere blacks not really for real.
Huh?
Okay, here's the answer to the question. Blacks want to be a permanent underclass anyway. They are always fighting to be the second worst.
See, there you go again.
I'm answering your question. I'm answering your question. I am.
You said, I'm not talking about what the people want. I asked you based on your statement that there's a concerted effort against black men's progress. It's not that, so that wouldn't be about what the men want, whether they want to be a second class or underclass. The hell with all that. I asked you. You said that there's a concerted effort against the progress of black men, right?
Okay.
Did you say that?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So what?
America gives you.
No, black men, heterosexual black men.
Heterosexual men, but black men. Here's the thing. No. Heterosexual men, but black men in particular. I call that classism.
You can't call it classism unless you're going to say they're in a class all by themselves.
We are. These ain't our women. I say that every week. These bitches ain't our women, yo. Black girl magic is not our women.
Because the magic is to get rid of their men. That's the magic trick.
The fact that they found some women and some gays and some felons to help them push heterosexual men into slavery shows you they not. This is Elizabeth Scott Key. This is Pocahontas. This is fucking C.J. Walker. This is what they do. This is all my friends saying when they go on a job interview. If it's a black woman in human resources, they be like, shit. That's what they do.
Facts.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not even arguing that. Like I understand the different struggles that are out there, but you still evading the question that I'm asking.
I'm not evading the question.
You said America has a concerted effort against the progress of black men. And then when I say, okay, well, what's the name for that? You say classism. Well, classism has a very different definition than a concerted effort against black men. That's not the definition for classism.
Well, it's not necessarily racism because it'll be.
What is it?
Well,
what is the targeted race?
Are y'all saying that? Yep. Are y'all saying that black men it is separate from the class because they're being targeted as men, right?
Right.
Y'all just identify a specific type of man right now.
Well, when they push the agenda, I'm saying this crazy. I'm answering your question. When they're pushing the agenda, it's not specific for black men. It's just for heterosexual men, both white, black.
Right. Y'all just saying black men.
Right. So that's where it's classism.
That ain't what Oak said.
And a lot of stuff.
But okay, because it's a two-parter. Classism mixed with liberalism or feminism or black girl magic, whatever. If you
target part of that at all.
Like the Me Too movement.
No. Wait, no. Check this out. No, I mean black people are always gonna yell that it's racism. I mean, I'm not saying they necessarily wrong.
I'm not yelling.
Okay,
racism.
no.
What do you call?
Okay, it's a mixture of things. Okay, let's say they're trying to attack all men, right?
Into
the white boy. No. Listen, because we're all not the same. So you look and you say, okay, we're gonna attack all men, right? And then you say, okay, certain communities are isolated. We can't get them, period. We can't get the Amish. We can't get the Jews. We probably can't get the Mexicans because we need the Mexicans to do all the work that the baby boomer black men told their sons not to do. So the Mexicans came in and did black people jobs, right? So we need a worker class. And they already working at prime, you know what I'm saying, at a prime rate, right? Cool. So we're going to keep the Mexicans because the Mexicans are workers. Now, who can we eliminate? We can eliminate the men that are weak, so we'll just turn them gay. We'll give them what's her name, fucking Jenner, Bruce Jenner, whatever, Caitlyn. We'll give them Caitlyn to keep the ball moving because they've been doing. But I like gay white dudes, but I like gay white dudes way more than I like gay black dudes because gay white dudes will be in full drag, green hair, nails manicured, wearing a dress with some Doc Martens, and they'll talk to you about the Cubs. I love that shit. Like, I'm like, yo, this motherfucker gay shit. He's like, hey, how's it going, bro? I'm like, man, they got cheap beers over there, and man, the Cubs is doing. It's just a regular conversation. Their sexuality is just a sexual fetish. It's not their identity. Black gays make it their identity. I'm just gay.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep, I agree. That's a perfect comment by Ty Perkins down there, by the way. Perfect comment.
Yeah. So
it can still be racism, but then there's classism. That's all it is, right there.
Right. It's classism because if you got enough money, you can buy your freedom papers. Correct. But if you broke, then the same school to prison pipeline that they concentrate on will turn into an essential worker pipeline. It'll be the same thing, and nobody will pay attention because you'll be a free range slave. They'll say you got to go here. They tried to do that with welfare to work during the Clinton administration. You ain't working, you still got to work.
I think racism and classism it works hand in hand. I mean, when racism is targeting a certain group, you're putting them in a class. So
I agree with that.
Yeah. Yep. I mean,
I just don't like the disingenuous conversation where we say that there is no racism targeting black people.
Nobody said there is no racism.
We just say not everything black people is racist. Is racist.
I never said that. Yeah, I don't.
No, I say that. I'll say this. You always say, Pete, you be act like it's no. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that every situation is racist. That's what I'm saying. Right.
I never argue.
I'm telling you the things that we complain about. that be like, oh, that's racist. It really isn't. You know what I'm
know
saying?
what things you're talking about.
You know, well, they'll be like, oh, somebody's saying, oh, they're not hiring black people. White people are racist, right? But the truth is, how many black people applying for that job? Like, matter of fact, and I'm trying to put your business out there, but the job you do, right? You said it wasn't a lot of, you know.
No, I didn't.
I think you said it was like the proportionate. You know what I'm saying?
Talking about the amount of employees.
Yeah. I think it was.
I know what Pete's saying.
Yeah, like
Pete's
what you do.
I know
Yeah,
what
he
Pete's
said,
saying.
no, me and him had a
like
personal conversation, and he was talking about. And I could be wrong, but I remember when you and I talked, you were like, "It's not a lot of you in what you do."
Right.
You know what I mean? In the work you do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And my thing is how many of you actually go for that? Like, what
that's
I
what
don't
I was gonna say, Pete.
yeah,
it's like brothers will get out.
Your volume, man. You gotta, it's just like your mic is low or muffled.
I was gonna validate what you're saying. That what you're saying is like it could be a brother who go out there, never got no education or skill set, nothing like that. They get locked up, go to prison or whatever from the deeds they do, come out, ain't got no resume, ain't got nothing, and be like the white man's holding you down.
Right.
Exactly.
There is
that. Matter of fact, and that's a real story. Can I give you a story?
There's another side to that too, though, right?
But
like we have to also acknowledge simultaneously that there are lots of qualified black men and women applying for jobs that don't get the job just because. And they even did a study on this. I think CNN did it. I think Anderson Cooper maybe, and I don't even like
CNN. The most liberal. Yeah, you know how they go. Yeah, you got.
But there are studies. There have been studies that show where when black people put in their applications under a lesser ethnic sounding name, that they get callbacks. But when they use their real name, they don't get callbacks. So, and again, I'm not even mad at white people for hiring people that they're most comfortable with. I'm not even tripping on that. We really need to build our own shit, you know. But it still is what it is.
Well, I mean, you know,
that's real. That's real. But at the same time, they could go move somewhere. They could go move somewhere to where they don't have that problem. It's not. We had this discussion before. There's a difference between racism problem and systematic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And not everything, like, you know, when Bill Cosby said, name your daughters and your sons a certain name, black folks attack. Talking about no, and most of the names ain't even African. Shaniqua is not a fucking African name. You know, they just making shit up. Shanae, Shaquiga ain't no, but they want to name their child. I want to name my child Hennessy. I want to name my child, you know, Hypnotic. You know what I'm saying? Right? Like, it's, you know.
You're already showing your mentality. You're showing your mentality right there.
It's kind of like, are you, like, put it like this. You raise your children, you raise your grandchildren. As a parent and a grandparent, because you hold two titles, right? Don't you try to raise them in the best possible way so that they can minimize opposition?
Yes.
Right. So therefore, you as a person take responsibility for your lineage. You know what I'm saying? Now, is it right? No. Right? Is it right to judge somebody in their name? To a degree, no. And sometimes it's okay. It's depending on what you do, right?
We understand.
Right.
Like OJ. We're not saying he should have killed it, but we understand.
We understand, right. You know? So, with that being said, it's like you're fighting the wrong fight. Like, you want to argue with a company who don't want to let you in with dreads. Like, that's the wrong fight.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? How important is that? Like, at the end of the day, put yourself in a position where you can wear your dreads. And the reason why the companies don't want it is not that they are against you, it's their clientele. And that's what they're worried about. See, a lot of people don't understand the business don't really give a fuck about its employees in a sense, other than how does it affect their clientele. This is why Popeyes don't care who they hire. Right? Go to Popeyes, right? And then go to Chick-fil-A, right? And they both hire black people. I mean, go to any Chick-fil-A here, it's mostly black people, but they hire a certain type of black. Yo, this is crazy. This is one story I had. I was driving Uber at the time, and I took a break. I went and got me some Chick-fil-A breakfast, right? And I'm sitting there, and I see two people interviewing. So I see a black girl come in there. She had on the standard interview outfit, right? You know, the black slacks, you know what I'm saying? White button blouse, you know, and look professional, right? Then it was a dude, brother, come in there. He wearing flip flops, jeans. You know what I'm saying? He looked like he prepared to hang out, got his hat, everything. And he will not get that job. Yep. But he would say, because the person who interviewed him was white, they ain't like him. Yep. Dude, you're wearing like flip flops. You act like you're going to check some broads. You trying to be a fly guy, and you're not going appropriate for the interview.
I think we can acknowledge that there are ignorant people who apply for jobs and they don't deserve the job. We're not talking about.
Well, I'm just let me close. Like, so land the plane. Let me land the plane on it. Right. My example is this: they will holler racism when clearly that wasn't the reason why they got the job. Because if I come to you and I was him and I say, man, they ain't hiring me. It was a white guy there. You don't know. You're not there. You didn't see how I presented myself. I listened to the guy talk. I would not hire him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I would not even hire him to throw out my garbage. Like, it was the most ignorant, the way he was talking. Like, you could just tell he was just a mama's boy that had fresh clothes. And that's all he wanted to do was sell weed. That's it.
What does Duck Dynasty do for a living though? Because from my understanding, the Duck Dynasty run their own shit.
They run their own shit, right? They own it. That's why it's called Duck Dynasty, duck whistles. And then
so again,
that was a conversation we had earlier.
I think there's a difference when we're talking about, like, we don't even have to have conversations about the blatantly obvious scenarios where people shouldn't get the job. Like, if you come into a job, like you're applying for a Fortune 500 CEO position, you don't come in with flip flops and a wife beater on. Like, we don't even have to discuss that because that goes without saying. So those, you may, even though those people may cry racism, they may cry foul, we don't even have to talk about them because it goes without saying that which is understood need not even be explained, right? What we're talking about are real cases where people who are qualified, who do come dressed for the part, who do the right thing, and they're the ones that get overlooked. We don't have to have the conversations about Kiki and Delisha.
But they're hiring. I mean, I look at most jobs. Good jobs are hiring black folks. Like, New York Transit.
There's a quota. Just like my job. Just like my job, there's a quota. So even though I live in a city that's 60% black, right? My city is 60% black. We have a black mayor, right? Black gays and felons. I get but you know what I mean when I say
your mayor is from my hood.
Yeah. So we got a city
from my building.
We live in a city that's 60% black, but my job is only represented by about 8% black people. And it's not because qualified black people aren't applying for the job. There is a process. There is a manager, and managers, first of all, there's typically a quota, all that affirmative action stuff, whatever, wherever that plays in. There is a certain percentage that they do want to at least represent. Look, we are an equal opportunity employer, so they will hire a certain amount. But the amount of people that are hired do not reflect the amount of people that are actually in the city, right? And so that's just what that is. And you can go to damn near any. Yeah, and then even when you start talking about how the mayor handles his business when he distributes funds for different projects, like even though there's 60% black city, even though the city is 60% black, when it comes down to the distribution of these different funds that come out, less than 2% of the black-owned businesses that apply for that funding got it. Now you might make the argument, oh, well, they spelled their name wrong, or they used a crayon. We can dismiss all the dumb shit. I'm talking about people who actually are qualified, doing the right thing, and they still don't get what you would think would come to them based on their representation in the city. You know who got most of the funding? You know who got most of the funding? You get most of the funding went to Asians and gays, right, and whites, with a very tiny percentage, 2 businesses out of all of these businesses or all of these projections or applications in the city, 2% went to black.
So I'm gonna answer that two parts, right? Well, no, sometimes there isn't enough black businesses. You know what I'm saying? For it. And I'm gonna tell you how Atlanta was built. What's his name? Maynard, the mayor. He pushed a position where a third of all contracting jobs got to go to black folks here in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? And that's how the airport got built. And he was like, yeah, it might not be black people know how to build the airport, but they know how to build the road. So give them those jobs. You know what I'm saying? And a lot. And I'm gonna tell you this. Here's another thing you don't understand: that it doesn't mean that they didn't get direct funding from the mayor, that they didn't get funded, right? A proportion of all major contracts, that contractor has to subcontract to minority businesses. So they do get the money, they just don't get it directly. So let's say, you know what I'm saying, I'm the man, I get the funding, you and Oak, you handle the roads, and Oak holds down the sewage lines. You know what I'm saying? I'll get the contract, right? Let's say I'm the big guy, I got all the equipment to take on the big contract. I have to subcontract a certain amount of work to you guys so that can happen. So sometimes you might not see the numbers on a grand scale, but they're in there. So that's what I'm saying. And also they're not, and also it's not a lot of, maybe your job, they're more qualified black people. I get that. But when you're talking about contractors, there's not necessarily a lot of contractors that are black in comparison to white contractors.
I agree.
So therefore,
we're not even having the same conversation, right?
No, but I mean, what I'm saying is that it's not as always the way you see it. And the second part I want to say, and I said this before, when it came to every race have been enslaved or oppressed to some degree, right? The whites in America they were slaves or indentured servants, or saying how you want to look at it, that came here. When those wars were over, everybody wanted a resource or a particular industry that they handled. I said it that black folks did not ask for anything other than their women.
What?
That's all. They didn't ask for nothing in particular. They only wanted their women.
So let me get this straight. Let me get this straight. So you're telling me that the best and the brightest, all they wanted was their women, and that was it?
They didn't want an industry, or they didn't want a resource. Everybody wanted an industry. Everybody fought for their industry.
That is insane, man.
Black folks.
You know what? Let me say this.
What industry did black folks fight for? What industry did Martin Luther King march for?
Well, Martin Luther King.
Civil rights.
You know, Martin Luther King is not grassroots. Martin Luther King was hired by the system.
Whatever. Then whoever.
You fight for your employer.
I'm just using them as an example because
me too.
All right. So listen.
So you fight for what your employer tells you.
Who was grassroots pushing for industry or resource?
When it comes to so-called black men, nobody. As a matter of fact, I'll even go so far as to say that when Malcolm started trying to do his own grassroots thing, that's when he got snuffed out. So there is that direct opposition, and I'll even say this. I'll even say this: the fact when we even talk about how all Americans, you go back to the 1600s, all Americans were on equal footing, pretty much getting their clocks clean, right? Black and white. There was no such thing as racism.
Right? Not till like the 1800s or something.
Right. So since there was no such thing as race,
read Todd's thing out loud. He agreed exactly what he said.
We did not fight
for any permanent industry.
I'm gonna address that after I make this point. I can read. I'm gonna address that after I make this point. Here's what I'm saying. If you're gonna go back to the 1600s and say that everybody's the same, that there is no division based on so-called race or skin color, then at some point that changed, right? And so when that changed, the only way that you can have something like capitalism is one expression of it, but racism is a different expression, another similar expression of it. The only way something like racism works is if you have somebody, you have a somebody on top and somebody on the bottom, and a system like racism
classism,
demands that somebody, huh?
I said all any civilization. That's a civilization.
Yeah. So
you gotta have a king, and
I agree with that. Right? Yeah. So it demands that somebody be on the bottom, and there has to be an effort to maintain that bottom, because otherwise, somebody got to do shit work, and somebody has to be shit on too. And this is why Lyndon B. Johnson, when he said, "White folk just need somebody to look down on," and so he's telling you right there that there has to be a concerted effort to maintain those people to be looked down on. That is by definition what racism is.
No, and I don't. What I'm saying is I don't disagree with that point. What I'm saying is, even if somebody has to do the shit work, the Mexicans didn't mind doing the shit work. These are the jobs that black folk. No,
that's just their way in the door. They do mind.
The way, but look, bro. Whatever it is, you gotta work. Work is work. And you choose what you want. They'll be readily to jump in a car and do any handyman work, where a lot of black folks just won't do. And this is what he was saying. They traded their daddy's trade to go get a degree in liberal arts.
That's a better argument. That's a better argument.
That's why you have that. And you can control the industry, because all of those are industries. Even if it's the maintenance, that's an industry. And maintenance men get paid. You know what I'm saying?
But you do that based on leadership, right?
I mean,
if you're telling me that millions of households, well, hold on now. If you're telling me that millions of households across America all decided on trading in their father's trades for liberal arts, again, we're talking culture and we're talking top-down philosophy, not each individual household arriving at the same conclusion miraculously, right? So who is it that pushed this philosophy that, hey, don't worry about keeping up with your father's trades, let's just all do something very different and less constructive, right? This is coming from your leadership. This isn't an organic process where these millions of individual households arrive at the same conclusion. And conversely, this is also why you find so many Hispanic households coming in and not being being willing to do the shit work that you talk about. That's their foot in the door. And if you take any impoverished people, if you expose someone to abject poverty, I don't care what culture you go to around the world, if you expose them to abject poverty, and then you offer them an opportunity to just do the shittiest work in America, but that opportunity provides them a better life, quality of life than what they've known before, they're gonna do that shit work. And conversely, when you take those same people and you bring them here for a few generations and they get comfortable in the American way, all of a sudden they're going to be less willing to do the shit work too. And then they're going to have to find another group of people willing to do the shit work. And that's what we're experiencing now. That's why you got all this influx of some of these people coming from south to the border. They're willing to do anything just to be a part of what America is offering. They're going to do the shit work.
And that's why we say slavery is legal.
Yeah, it is. Not for you, but for the government.
Yeah.
Your ass going to jail.
No, I mean, all right.
Your ass going to
jail. You're speaking of slavery.
Yeah, okay. Well, I don't say that shit in front of me because I'm going to tell on you. There ain't going to be no accessory to your crime.
No, because I'm going to just do it legally. I'm going to have the paperwork. Hey, look. All right. You know, look, I'm gonna say this. I'm cool now. When I finish my course next week, but when I finish my course next week is hell. I'm bringing hellfire and brimstone.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, man. First of all, black people too goddamn loud. They talk too much. If you're gonna do something, do it. Then tell people what you did. They always talking about what they're gonna do. That's why they get killed. But besides that,
even that's culture.
They get it from their
talking too fucking much.
Right. Who's talking about?
So, Mr. Culture, the what people wanted besides to fuck white girls was to get education. I say all the time, the reason that these Zoomers are so messed up, I said I lived long enough to see the lost generation, or for black people, civil rights generation. That was my grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
My grandparents taught my parents the skill and the hustle. Baby boomers ain't teach us shit. They taught us to hustle. We were some hustling motherfuckers. Then all the chicks was like, I don't need no man. They stole all the kids, and they don't teach the kids shit. So now the kids lazy. They don't have the skills or the hustle. What baby boomers was trying to do is, and this is you kind of gotta blame the lost generation for this. They promoted the baby boomers went to college so they can learn how to suck dick and be androgynous. And then they pushed that down on us. Even though they had the skill set and the hustle, they was like, yo, so everything that black people were, we ran agriculture, we ran contract work, we ran that shit.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody, we still looking at a time in which girls love where niggas couldn't read, so he had to sign his paycheck and give it to his wife because he couldn't read his paycheck and she had to pay the bills. So the guys who did the work couldn't do the paperwork. And the guys who could do the paperwork were normally the snakiest motherfuckers out there, which is why granddad didn't go to church. Gave grandma $20 to go to church. Granddad wasn't fucking with that shady ass pastor. The people that could do the work were disconnected from the people. The people that could do the paperwork were and are disconnected from the people that could do the work.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I can do the paperwork, but when I talk to paperwork people, they like, yo, you got to excuse, oh, you know what I'm saying, he a little rough around the edges. I ain't rough around the edges. People have the impression that I'm an unrefined Kevin Samuels. They never say what I really am, which is a totally refined Larry Hoover. That's the disconnect. The people who are the elite, quote unquote, don't want to deal with the mob boss. They want to deal with other elites who think money is important. Money is only important when you're poor. When you can feed yourself, you got a roof over your head. Money is arbitrary. Now you're just using it to entertain your toddler because she get bored too easily. But that's all money is for. Feed your kids straight, the house straight. Men don't do shit. Men are sit in the garage for hours and do nothing and be like, yo, that's my day. So everything after that, that's the type of people they want to deal with. Because everybody needs a lower class. The black bourgeois needs broke niggas in order to feel important. Everybody needs a lower class. I need to buy slaves. I need a lower class. But the issue is that, and this is why I can't say it's racism, because it's perpetuated by black women. I know y'all love these toddlers, and y'all got toddlers to love, but as a culture, it's perpetuated by black women. It's black women that want to see black men down because they want to feel more important than somebody. Even though they don't know shit, they just do shit. And they still need the same men that they put down to fix their mistakes so they can take the credit for it. They love to say their kid made it to the league even though they ain't never dribbled the ball with that little nigga. But as soon as he go to jail, it's the absentee daddy fault. Nigga, you stole that baby. So that means that black men
get the credit. Even
black men are fighting a war on every front because they don't know who their enemies are.
Mm-hmm.
They think that people are their enemies. But they blame the system for the people. The system is the system. You plug into the system and you can do what you want to do and fuck them people. People are not based on culture. America does not have a culture. America has laws, and the laws dictate what you can do, and what you can and can't do forms that culture. But you can create your own laws at any given time, and you can create your own culture. There's a reason that when I didn't have a driver's license, I said I am not going to Texas. Texas locking niggas up for 7 years for a driving offense, especially if you get caught with a pistol. That's 7 years, nigga, for no license. And you found something in the car? Fuck Texas. Chicago, shoot a motherfucker on the street, nigga, get 3 years suspended, nigga. You home on 3 years probation. And that's why Chicago kill anything moving. But I digress. That's the culture. In Detroit is a very industrial city. So is Gary, Indiana. They got the steel mill, they got the car lot. That's the builder culture. Girls think it's sexy that you go work at the factory. You come to Chicago or you go to other cities like LA or New York, and you like, I work at the factory. I ain't fucking with no factory worker, nigga. because the culture is different based on the laws and the way that people get their bread. You can create your own culture based on the law. America doesn't have a culture. Where black people go wrong, and this is why women, gays, and felons be winning, is because black men won't choke a toddler. They allow the liberals to just come do what the fuck they want to do. And when I say the liberals, I'm talking about the Karens, the Keishas, the Watermelonishas, the Marias. Goddamn it. They let every motherfucking body, all the liberals, because they loudmouth motherfuckers, just control shit, and they trying to shut a bitch up. Just let my wife have her way so she shut the fuck up. She never gonna shut the fuck up. Bullies never stop bullying you. I'm gonna take your lunch money every day. I'm not gonna stop because you gave it to me on Wednesday. I'm coming every motherfucking day, nigga, and you gonna give me your dollar. Until you hit me in the nose, I'm gonna take your dollar every day. That's how bullies operate. These Tylers is bullies. These liberals is bullies. And niggas won't stand up and choke a bitch.
I'm gonna say a quick thing about racism and classism and how it affects Black America. Black America, in a sense, real racism, that real reason why racism affect them is because they make everything about race and not about class. And let me say this, your higher up white folks that may have come from trash or whatever, don't fuck with them. When they get to a certain level, they don't. They classify themselves. They're like, look, I'm a rich motherfucker in Beverly Hills. I'm not fucking with you in so-and-so stick city. They're not. They don't bring down, they don't connect it. They don't be like, yo, we're all one. Black folks that they all connect. Jay-Z still think he could identify with a dude in Bed-Stuy that got a hustle on the corner. He can't. But he would still identify, yo, I'm black. I'm still, dude, how are you oppressed? You're a multi-billionaire now.
Jay-Z don't really think that.
I'm saying, but he sings that people, a lot of well-to-do or folks do the same thing and they assimilate it and they say we all black. You never hear, you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh man, we're all black. We got to stick together. No, we don't. Because you're not doing what I'm doing. I don't want to stick with you. You know what I'm saying? You trying to scam everybody for $3. We ain't the same. I'm trying to do a lick for $3 million. So, but you want me to say, oh, well, we all black and the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I think racism hurt black people more, not externally, but internally, because we will identify or we won't disconnect ourselves.
We want to identify being slaves and oppressed.
Right. That's it.
Everybody want to be a goddamn slave.
Right. And so when I say, yo, you ain't a slave, you know what I'm saying? And you're not living a slave life. Everybody give me, like, yo, like, you and I going on racism. I'm like, yo, dude, like, look at your life. You're retired, dude. You're retired, like, by 40 years old. You said the other day, you work, but you don't have to work, which is healthy, because I had that conversation with somebody. Like, you're good. You got kids. Your kids are grown. You got grandkids. You chilling. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, like, how can you even assimilate to that?
No. You misunderstand me, bro. That's two different conversations. I don't.
Not saying assimilate. I'm not saying so. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I definitely.
When I speak about certain people, right, and we say black because we signify black as women, gays, and felons, right? It's a menstrual class, and it is a poor poverty class, right? Because that's just the way they're thinking. That's all they're concerned with. Impoverished people only think about sex. This is why everything is about sex.
Little homie Elijah.
You know what I'm saying? In that community, when you get outside of it, sex is not important. It's not last, but it's not important. You know what I'm saying? And you know it, like, yo, you said it yourself. Look at the community. That's all they're worrying about. Think about how they're worrying about. So not just a man trying to smash everything. Look, the chicks, they want to be men. The men want to be women.
I was on the phone when me and Oak were on the call. All four of us were on that call the other day. And then the three of y'all dropped off. The two of y'all dropped off, and it was just me and Oak. Oak said America is racist as hell. Now he won't say that now, but he said it when it was just me and him on the line. Now, all of a sudden, America ain't racist, and it's all this other shit. So I get it. You know, there's a different conversation happening right now. And you know, I agree with Ty. He said racism does not work without classism, but the point is still the same. Racism is working because there is classism. So, and I do understand that there are people who.
Said what?
You said America is racist as shit.
Oh,
that's what you said to me the other day on the phone.
America is a racist. America is prejudiced as shit. America is segregated as shit. Chicago and Boston more so than anything. Even Savannah is segregated. From what I remember going to college down there. It's not that race doesn't. No, America is race. Okay, to get the full context of what I said, and I stand by what I said. Other nations validate their segregation, their separation, by other trends, either by classism or by religion. You know what I'm saying? Like if you go to Egypt, you know what I'm saying, the Sunnis and the Shiites, and if you're a Christian, you over there, we don't fuck with you. Everybody has their separation. America's separation is race. It's really class, but it's race.
Just so happens that the lower class disproportionately is represented by us, or people who look like us. But yes, right. I agree.
So that's what I was saying. That's America's brand of separation, of defining who is and who isn't, just at a glance. Like, oh, black, and then you have to be quote unquote a good nigger. Like they're like, oh, he's not a nigger, he's a man. But they have to get to know you. And it doesn't help that the culture that they promote. This is what I was saying, because Aaron said, wow, Aaron said some shit about Nas class. Here's this. And Vaun has been saying this off and on all the time actually, but this whole podcast. There's a difference between culture and media marketing, right? Niggas are susceptible to marketing. So a lot of the things that they call culture is just marketing, right?
Yep.
So it's still not, America doesn't have a culture. Whoever yells the loudest, America as a system. America is just laws. America doesn't have it's not like the Wizard of Oz, like the color is red, now the color is yellow.
So you're just saying America, it's multicultural.
It's America's just the laws and the system that you plug into the laws. The individual. Nah, it's some motherfucking countries that, like America is a Christian country, right? Because we're based on Christian doctrines, right? Okay. We're not an Arab country, so like that would be a default, right? We go off. The Bible was basically what they made the Constitution from, plus slavery, right?
Okay.
Well, I guess slavery in the Bible too, but but that's what America is. As far as how you have to dress, this is what happens with black people, and this is why I understand why high brands don't want black people to wear their shit. Actually, I heard this on a show one day on a podcast, and white guys was talking about it, and I respect it. It said black people create stuff then throw it away. It's always about the trend. It's always the new norm. That's what the trend is, the new norm. That's what they can get the boys to suck dick now and say they not gay. Oh man, it's cool because it's a new norm. Nigga, it's never been cool. You know what I'm saying? But if it's cool for you, okay, cool, right? If you want to promote your children being gay, because that's the new thing now. We ain't never hear about Michael Jordan kids in the 90s, but now you hear about Dwayne Wade kids every day. You know what I'm saying? You want to promote that your kid queer just to make other kids like, oh my God, if Dwayne Wade kid queer, then I could be queer too. How we want to do it. I remember Madonna popping up preaching.
Top down, like I said.
Marketing. But niggas, but you can make any marketing and niggas go for it. Like motherfuckers don't give a shit.
You can't though. I can't. We don't have that type
$2,000. Yeah, a couple dollars. I don't know. I don't know. $1,000 budget. I had a whole nation yelling topless.
No, you won't.
Shit.
You can get a few, but I tell you what, if Dwayne Wade say it, it's gonna have a whole lot more weight behind it. If you see
Dwayne Wade from Chicago, but he ain't gonna be the one I tell him.
Yeah, that's a bad example. You're right. He a bad example.
But
you get 50 Cent or who the hottest rapper?
Yeah,
get one of the rappers.
A name drop of help. You know what I'm saying? I can know a couple of rappers. A name drop of help, but that's influence. That's the power of influence. But that's just marketing, and that marketing is just even though for the people they'll be yelling Tyler, for me I'll be monetizing it, right? No different than George Soros. You know what I'm saying? Monetizing the chaotic chicks, right? But the chaotic chicks, they got paid. So if they made, hey man, yeah, we're gonna get flagged now. But you know what I'm saying?
Hey, that's power right there. You can't even say a motherfucking name.
Hey, you can't say nothing about them funny hat wearers though. You tell you that, you be anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
But that's the power. That's real power. Niggas think money is power. That's power. The
Look,
power
even
to
when they
censor you.
censor, even when they censoring, you can say all kind of shit. You can say the N-word, and that's supposed to be one of the filthiest words in the whole damn language. But if you try to say that F word on your record, that's a rap. You say that J word on your record, that's a rap. Just saying the word J is gonna get you a flag. And saying the F word is probably gonna get you what's the word they use now? Where they block all your blessings or whatever.
Yeah,
Block,
like,
ban,
anti.
Like I know guys that gotta say grape. They get
what's
people
the word
say grape now.
when they culturally ban you, or when they ban you, they say
blacklist you.
Blacklist you, or
I forget the word. Y'all know what it's
culture,
something like
cancel you.
Cancel culture. There you go. They cancel you. So if you say the F word, you can get canceled. But you can say the N word. Even when they censoring songs now, they'll block out all kind of cuss words and everything, but they'll let the N word slide right through.
So here's the crazy shit.
That's
I want to get
There
on that.
go Elijah. Shout out to Elijah. Yeah, KKK started as a Christian organization, but so did the Hebrew Israelites. The Hebrews was a denomination of the Pentecostal church because there was a bunch of bougie black dudes who said, I don't want to be no regular Christian. I want to be a special Christian. And they're like, I don't want to be Pentecostal because they racist. We're going to be Hebrew Israelites, which is the dumbest name because the only thing Hebrews known for is being slaves over and over and over. But it make the most sense in the world because all niggas want to do is be slaves.
Be slaves. Can't make
These motherfuckers got out of slavery and walked 40 years for a 10-day walk because they was like, I want to go back to slavery, nigga. Fuck that Red Sea part, nigga. Right. I want to go back to slavery.
I'm hoping somebody gather us.
Right. As long as they don't call us slaves.
They didn't want to escape. They're like, yo, they walked for 40 years. Yo, how come nobody captured us yet?
Right. The Pharaoh came back with the documents like you no longer slaves. Come back. You can be essential workers. They're like, all right, we're going back. We're going to be essential workers.
So we could complain again and then get freed and then go back. That's what I'm trying to tell you. This story is non-ending, right? It's the same shit, right? Folks was enslaved, complained, cried, everything, got freedom, could have almost had full freedom, right? Because with T-Man, right? The Don T, right? Because I don't know if he gets flagged too, right? But the Don T was really trying to make black folks white. That's what he was doing. He was like, yo, all that black shit you complaining about, your status, I'm going to make you white. So now you can get on this shit, right? And what did motherfuckers do? Nah, we want to be black. It wasn't black. And it wasn't even, this one I can't fully blame on the minstrel club. Well, because they are minstrel, they subscribe to. This is where I said racism killed them. You had educated brothers and sisters, right, that should have known better, still choosing to be black, opposed to, and what I mean is the race. They wasn't trying to change their class or their status. So here you are.
3 times in my lifetime. 3 times in my lifetime. They done changed it. We went from Negro to black to African American in my lifetime and tried to make us adios. And I was like, fuck that.
Where does that come from? Who's coming up with these different ideas? Negro, black,
liberal, and they just subscribe to it. They subscribe to, look, like I said, America allows you to be who you want to be, right? And we know.
Yeah,
you can't even argue with me on this one because you could be 67 genders at this point, right? America's like, okay, if you want to be a Polynesian,
poodle,
boy, girl, poodle, hey, fuck it, you can be that, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
America even says you can sue, even though you're a man, you can sue the gynecologist.
But America is a master. Look, America, if America is nothing else, America is a master at marketing, right? And people are going to go with whatever their cultural flow is, because most people are not going to think deeply on anything. Most people are not deeply analytical. Most people are not critical thinkers. Most people are going to do whatever their cultural norm is, right? So if whether it's so-called white people, whether it's black people, whether it's Chinese, everybody has their representatives, man, and people are doing as they are led to do. What you guys are talking about, I agree with. It is still each person's personal responsibility, and people should make better decisions, but that's not how humans work, man. Humans work the way that we've been seeing them work. I use the same example every time. Everybody, Asians don't excel academically because they're smarter. They excel because it's culturally unacceptable for them to fail. That's the reason that they excel, because it's culturally unacceptable for them to fail. The reason that you find
whichever arena they are, because it's not all education for them. They got some hard,
reason,
they got work to class.
I get it, but my point is the same. You still understand what I'm saying? If you were to push to all black children, right, that the thing to be, look, here's a perfect example. Why do you have so many inner city black kids?
Let me ask you this: who should push that agenda, though?
Come on, bro. Hold on.
Yeah.
There's a reason why you have so many inner city kids trying to perfect that layup and that crossover dribble and see if they can be the next star on the football field, because that's what the cultural flow is for us to be performers. We are like you said, the minstrel class. That's the cultural flow for black people, and that is a top-down philosophy. Now, the difference in hold on. I know you don't
disagree with that, but go ahead, bro.
I know you don't agree, but Oak did, Quasi did, and most everybody else that I talk to understands that it's a top-down philosophy. The difference that black people have to do in this country is we have to defy what the cultural flow is for us to be successful. So that means we have to go against the grain. We have to do things like try to be, especially as black men, we have to try to do things like be business owners. We're lame if we can't play basketball. We're lame if we can't dance. We're lame if we don't know how to fight, right? Or if we don't have that swag, or if we don't sag our pants, like the cultural flow that's given to so-called black people, in order for us to be successful, we have to defy what our cultural flow is. Whereas meanwhile, the average ethnic group, the other ethnic groups, their cultural flow is success, and they have to step down from their cultural flow in order to participate in the shit that keeps other people stagnant, shit that keeps black people stagnant. That's the difference.
All right. So here's where I agree and disagree, right? So you said that, it's funny how our culture is top down, right? But then when we talked about a man going to shoot for a woman, it's ultimately his fault because he made the decision to be a shooter, to kill for that woman.
How things are congruent.
No, it is congruent because you're saying individually he needs to make a choice for himself. And that was on him for making a bad choice for himself. The top-down theory is as if this is forced. You know what I'm saying? And it's not.
No.
When the top-down theory is just saying, no. Right, and this is where I disagree. And like I said, America has multicultures. This is why everybody comes here, is because they call it the melting pot, right? Because you can be who you want to be and do it almost what you want to do as long as you subscribe to the laws or you pay enough to not have to subscribe to the law as everybody else, right? So with that being said, the inside has to dictate the culture that they want. It's not really an American thing. It's what they want. It's a Black American thing. They want that culture. They enjoy it. They love it. They bathe in that shit, bro. You can get out and be whatever you want to be, because if it was from the top down, then you wouldn't have Black folks in positions that they're in now. And here's what you're talking about, and this is where I want to finish. Hey, I'll let you land your plane, but
yes, sir.
I understand you disagree, so I'll let that pin be in there, right? You saying everything you're naming is people taking control of their culture, right? No American says, "Yo, we want Chinese people to excel, and we're going to push Chinese people to excel." Chinese people choose to excel because they want to excel. That's their culture that they choose. Same as the Indians, because they take that, it's just as big. You know what I'm saying? And America pushes the same shit that it pushes down Black people's throat to white people's throat too. Because you got illiterate motherfuckers in lower America, middle America, far wherever America that are highly illiterate, You know what I'm saying? Trailer park trash. They do the same shit. You know what I'm saying? Black people just a darker version, and they're just a more commercialized version of it, right?
Yep.
And if anything, we always say black people really create the culture. So what we do is, if you're saying, brother, if you're saying black people create the culture that America bites and profits off of, then it really isn't the top down, it's really the bottom up, because once black people do some shit, America adapts to that. If anything, America's culture is created by the bottom people. That's who creates the culture.
Here's a perfect example. Aren't you a weirdo if you can't dance as a black person? Like, isn't it assumed as a young black male that you can play basketball? That's assumed by most people that you meet. And then
I'm thinking about the movie Soul Man.
Yeah, it's a strange phenomenon if you're a black man and you can't dance, or you can't play basketball, right? Or if you can't rap. Like, these are things that are assumed about you before people hear a word come out of your mouth. And that is representative of every culture that you meet. If you go to a Chinese man, he thinks that about you. If you go to a Japanese man, an Indian man, a white man, they all assume that you can play basketball, or that you can dance, or that you can rap. And conversely, as a black child growing up, you're kind of out of place, or a weirdo, or some kind of a standout if you excel academically, or if you can't play basketball, or if you speak the King's English with proper diction, right? Or if you can't dance, or if you ain't good with the girls. Like, all of these different stereotypes, if you want to call them that, these are things that are actually part of how do I say it? These are not things that are organic in each individual home. These are things that are marketed. That's the word Oak uses, and I like that idea. These ideas are marketed to you that you're supposed to be able to do these things. Nobody else is getting this type of marketing. They get different marketing for sure, but
we think white people can't season food.
The marketing for degenerate behavior. The marketing for degenerate behavior. The marketing for degenerate behavior is all yours. Is primarily, I won't say all, but primarily.
I know white people can season food now because Becky is thick as shit all of a sudden. But
most of the chefs are white, and most of a lot of restaurants are white chefs, and they make.
Here's Mexican chefs too. Here's the thing. I want to get to Ty. Aaron, this is not a capitalist society. We're not pure capitalism. There's a lot of socialism. There's a lot of like social programming. A lot of we can go with cronyism. It's a cronyism. Okay. Well, I want to go to Ty. Ty said, how many of y'all voted for Biden? It doesn't matter how many of us voted for Biden, bro, because he stole the election. While they was talking, I was looking up because I looked this up before because I did a podcast about it, but I want to have it fresh for you. The most popular presidents of our lifetime, me being born and living through the 1980s, couldn't vote, probably couldn't walk to school by myself, but I was alive. I was alive when Ronald Reagan got elected. Ronald Reagan, Bill Clinton, Obama, and Trump were the four most popular presidencies of my lifetime. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't alive for Kennedy. You know what I'm saying? Reagan got 44 million votes, and that was 52% of the votes, which means it was only like 89, 90 million people voting. Keep that number in mind, 90 million people voting. Clinton got 45 million votes, which is 51% of the vote, which is 90 million people voted. Obama got 65 million votes. He was the top gun. 65 million votes. That's 52% of the votes, which still brings us out to about 110, 112 million Americans voted, right? In the election that Biden won, Trump got 74 million votes. Nigga, that's the most popular in the Biden, that person only had 12 people come to this rally at a time, got 81 million votes on the mail-in. Get the fuck out of here, man. You know what I'm saying?
But here's how he was able to steal it, right? Because public acceptance. You know what I'm saying? Right. The public accepted the stealing. And that's the public acceptance, right? Because they shut Don T from being on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? He was a sitting president, and you let big tech control everything. Big tech control the narrative of that. They put together a fake inaugurate everything, and that's due to big tech. Big tech control that outcome, and who supported it. Like nobody, based on that, the people who voted for Don T know it was stolen. People who didn't know it was too, but you never hear the people who voted the opposite way argue about it.
They stormed the White House though. But think about this: Biden won by.
Do me a favor, screenshot that, man. Send me that those stats that you just read out, the different percentages that the president's won.
Biden won by 40 million more votes than there are Democratic registered voters.
Facts.
How on a look, bro?
Yeah, but that's the thing. It was media acceptance that kept everybody, and the people who here's the thing. The people who voted, all you needed was a certain amount to agree to it.
He said, "I know for sure two of y'all ain't voting." Hey, you can know for sure.
I did vote for the crack pipe. I 100% voted for the crack. I did.
You know three, because Quasi ain't voting for nobody. Quasi, his mail-in ballot don't count. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, look. The reason that one of the biggest reasons that Biden was able to pass that off was like I go back to the beginning, man. America is a genius at marketing, and the one thing that they marketed was that your president, that President Trump was an idiot. They marketed that shit as good as anything, and they was blocking him off Twitter. They marketed this idea
they blocked after the so-called insurrection, but prior to that,
I mean the whole time he was in office, man. The whole time he was in office, making power moves. He was making power moves while he was in office, and they still marketed him as an idiot the whole time.
I'm gonna say this.
Arguably, go ahead, my fault.
But even with that, people with common sense, or should have, people who were supposed to be sensible, personally chose not to. You and I know this because you can literally lay out the stats that Oak said, and they'll still be like, "Oh, you just talking," and it's like, "Yo, come on, dude." Biden barely made it. He was he was really the second worst. Like, if anybody should have got it was Bernie. If you said Bernie won it, I would have been like, okay, you know what I'm saying?
I cheated Bernie.
But they cheated Bernie twice.
They cheated Bernie twice though.
And if Hillary couldn't pull it off, how the fuck did he pull it off? Like, yo, so
that's gangster right there.
But you could show them all of that shit, and nothing happens. Like they will still,
and then on top of that, and look how cold the game is, right? They steal the election, blatant as shit, and then they turn around and credit black women for the victory.
There you go.
That's marketing right
there.
And
here's the thing: black women accepted that credit because
black women didn't have the voice. Black women didn't have the voice for you to know what they meant, rather not anyway. They told you. I understand what you're saying, but I'm saying just like they told you that this is your new president and you couldn't do shit about it, they also told you that this is who you're supposed to give credit to. Like, if it's one thing that we know what they do is lie.
Wait, who said I'm fired? No, be fired. Who else voted? No, I didn't vote for him. I just voted for the crack pipe. So I voted for Don T. It was just a crack pipe. Go ahead.
If it's one thing we know what these people do, man, they lie. And just like they can lie and tell you who your new president is, and he won by a record number of votes, we know he didn't win by that shit. They turn right around and also say, boy, black women sure did show up. We want to give you credit for me getting over this hump. They lie, man. And y'all sitting here running with it as if they tell a lie on one hand, but they can't be lying about this. Come on, man, stop. Y'all play too much.
I mean, but it's not even that. It's my thing is
come on, man. What are we talking about?
Let's wrap it up, fellas.
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up. It's been a long night, man.
Yeah, it's 10. Shit,
y'all cutting into my beauty rest.
I know, right? I could be.
I got my AARP card. I got to get a little extra sleep now.
Let's read what Aaron said before we go. Damn, when are y'all going to realize the POTUS selection is determined by the Electoral College vote? The popular vote is there to make sure that you're part of the process. That's it. These stolen election conspiracy are ridiculous unless you can show how they stole the election through the Electoral College. Every part of selection is determined by a lot of times, here's Aaron, a lot of times the popular vote and the Electoral College usually fit hand to hand. And the ballots was the issue. There's no way you're going to have 40 million more votes in the Democratic Party because they influenced the Electoral College. So that was the issue of the mail-in ballots. There were 4 states where they were. That's what they were saying was the mail-in ballots, and it forced the. Let me say this: the Electoral College, certain states in Electoral College have to vote the popular vote. So those were those states. So even though the I forgot who chooses which way to go, but whoever is selected as the electoral voter, right? They have to go in the same way that the popular vote goes, even though they may disagree. So they may want to vote for Trump, but if the state they're in and the popular vote is for Biden, they have to generally vote. And I think it's 13 states that have to be subject to that. So that's how the Electoral College can be affected, because if those states are the swing votes, it can affect it. So no, it's no conspiracy theory. It is true.
Yeah.
No way he can outdo Obama.
No way.
No way he can do Obama and Hillary. Nobody was fucking with it.
And he didn't even campaign.
No, he campaigned. He campaigned.
Barely.
No, it wasn't barely. It was barely people were there. That's what
it was.
Man.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the best.
You know,
better way.
we're like, yo, you didn't see all those people? Barely. I'm legally blind. All the people there. That's what it was.
That's one thing we all in agreement on, for sure.
Man, did you see his rally? 11 people, and that's with Obama there.
My wife said because he was
Obama
asleep.
had to be at the rallies, and it was still when Obama wasn't there, it was 3 people. When Obama came, it was 11. You know what I'm saying? Obama was holding rallies, and he was holding rallies in parking lots. You know what I'm saying? At Piggly Wiggly.
Man, you know
Trump had
Come on, man. Come on.
That's facts, though.
Trump,
I saw that rally.
He was doing arenas.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, there was like the Madison Square Garden.
Look, I thought people was woke, man, and then this jab came, and people just basically did what they was told to do. Like radio DJ. When did radio DJs become leaders? Comedians become the most vocal people as far as how we supposed to move, man. Like that's insane. Anyway, I don't want to open up a new.
When you're the minstrel class, that is your leaders. Remember, you minstrels, you're entertainers. So
there you go.
Entertainer. This is why when Trump got in, who did he go to? Go to the entertainers, and he went to the preachers, entertainers, and he said, "What the fuck do y'all want?" That's what pissed me off, because as soon as he got in office, he was like, "What the fuck do you want?" I'm talking to your ministers. That was who he was pushing. And then even when he got in, he realized, okay, they ain't really the ones. He called Steve Harvey. He called all the top, like, yo, talk to me. Tell me what
and the fact that they wouldn't even talk to him, that lets you know that they are owned. The fact that they wouldn't even talk to him, that lets you know that they are owned.
Well, you know what's crazy? They were going to cancel Steve Harvey. It wasn't even the higher ups. When Steve Harvey was asked to go meet with him, cancel culture crazy. And it was all black folks. Oh, he better not go up there. He better it wasn't even marketing. They just believed in that.
That's very effective marketing. Look at that shit. When did that become a thing, boy? That's crazy.
Hey, but who's the biggest consumers of the black market? Women, gays, and felons.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
terrible. They ain't got. Hey man, look. At least they got their own guns. You need a gun, but y'all niggas, man, motherfucker. Every time you come pick up the daughter for prom, the daddy want to pull a pistol. Shit, get your own pistol. Go up there and make sure you make it happen. Shout out to him. Stupid goofy ass. Look, man. At the end of the day, because we're gonna wrap this up, man. Now we ran an hour. We ran an hour more than we should have. But at the end of the day.
Hold on. That's Kodak Purple.
Kodak Purple.
Yeah, he is.
Y'all niggas are sick. Wait till I tell your wife, man. You out here acting a fool, man. I'm telling your wife. Man. You out here being a hood rat.
All right, y'all.
Yeah,
All right.
at the end of the day, man,
I'm over here sleepy eye.
all I'm gonna say is this, man. At the end of the day, if black men have to create culture, and I agree with that, then black men need to start from scratch. Let Rome have what is Rome's. Lead these chicks to America and just start fresh. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? If you, it's like jail. Girls is like cigarettes. Smoke them if you got them, nigga. We about to go. Goddamn it, if you got one, roll with
Oh, he's at Rita's.
it.
P, he was at
But
Rita's.
yeah, man, let's wrap this up, man. It's like 7 in the morning with Quasi. He got 14 minutes before he go to work and shit.
Yeah, let's get it, man.
All right.
Thank y'all for coming out. God bless and good night.
Goodbye.
All that shit.
What's going on, internet land? It's the fly bow tie guy coming live to you to send a reminder to donate to these gentlemen that's giving their time and passion. We're gonna come with some great guests in the future for you guys to entertain you guys and have a good time. And I want to have these guys motivated and giving their best. I want to continue to do these lives for the future. So if you enjoy this show and you want more lives, donate at Tribe Power and show some love.